See what it means to be driven at weatherguard.com.
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month, but you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio.
Sponsored by Age of Learning.
Tucson, remember, 1290 is the one and only home of Arizona football, men's basketball, and baseball. When you're listening to Brian Jeffries call the game, you're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Do you need your home repiped? Having trouble with your water heater? Leaking toilet? Have you ever thought about an instant recorded seweroscopy? Then call Economy Plumbing Service at 885-3510. Because if water goes through it or to it, we do it. Economy Plumbing, 885-3510.
So hot. Hi, can I help you?
Good afternoon. We're with Goodfellas AC Rapid Response Team.
But I didn't call yet.
That's how fast we are, man.
Just as I thought, this AC is out.
No, we're not gonna lose it. Come on. Come on. Don't you die on me.
Johnson, get a hold of yourself. Sorry, we take this very seriously.
Wow, you fellas are good.
It's not just a name, ma'am.
It's who we are kind of thing.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
3 reasons I ditched my old school deodorant and made the switch to Lumi Whole Body Deodorant for pits, privates, and beyond. First, Lumi is crazy effective. It controls odor in a new way and keeps me fresher longer. Second, it's a whole body deodorant that works on every nook and cranny. You know, the ones we all have. My pits, underboob, thigh folds, behind, and even feet. Use it anywhere. Third, Lumi was created by an OBGYN. I don't know about you, but knowing Lumi was formulated by an OBGYN who knows all about safety below the belt is super reassuring. Experience a new way to control odor longer that works everywhere. There's a special offer for listeners. Go to LumiDeodorant.com and use code SUPER and get 15% off your first purchase with code SUPER. Like the Lumi Starter Pack, Acidified Body Wash, or new Lumi Plus Sweat Control. That's LUME Deodorant.com, code SUPER for 15% off your first purchase. Love it or return it for free. That's LUME Deodorant.com, code SUPER to save 15% today.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We have the Arizona Wildcats covered on game day like no one else. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson, duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
There's a timeout for Joc.
It seems like that's automatic with Joc when he gets a 3-2, right?
It's an old trick he used to do with the Dodgers. Rick Monday hipped us to that all the time. And anytime Pederson has a full count, he calls timeout. And so now here we go. We reset. Joc drives it deep to right field. Joc Pederson has done it one more time. Joc Pederson gives them the lead in Cleveland. He did it yesterday in Pittsburgh, and he's done it again tonight. Wow!
Joc Pederson, he's that fun kid on your baseball team who can just mash. He's like the kid, the Little League kid a few years ago who said he liked to hit dingers. I mean, that is Joc Pederson in a nutshell. Somebody tweeted, I thought I saw somebody say that they wish that they just let Joc Pederson wear a Hawaiian shirt for all the games.
Yeah, he kind of has that beer league kind of feel to him, doesn't he?
He does. And he's got that really blonde hair now. I think that's kind of new. I don't remember his hair being that blonde prior to maybe last week. So I don't know if that's a new thing or not. But Joc Pederson has got this Diamondbacks train rolling right now as they get set for Game 2 up on the North Coast against my tribe tonight at 3:40. The Diamondbacks, a season-high 9 games 9 games above 500. And don't look now. Don't look now. But they're just 5 games back of the Dodgers. The Padres and the Diamondbacks are coming on Los Angeles. I mean, like, it seemed like just a few weeks ago, this was like a 9-10 game lead for Los Angeles. Now it's down to 5 games. And the Dodgers, they've won 3 in a row. Now, they're only 5-5 in their last 10. And the Diamondbacks and Padres are 8-2 in their last 10. So that's 3 games right there that they've made up in the standings over the course of the last week and a half. But don't look now. Here come the swinging snakes, as I labeled them last night after they did more first inning damage. Second time on this road trip, they have lit up the scoreboard with home runs in the first inning. Something to see. We're going to dive into the Diamondbacks. We'll get you everything you need to know heading into first pitch. Coming up at 3:40 tonight as the National League champion, the reigning National League champions, starting to make some noise. 61-52 are the Diamondbacks now in the National League.
When you went to go see your dad, they were 50-48. That makes 12-4, DK, since the turn.
Yeah.
12-4 since the All-Star break.
Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. They are now actually the because, they're tied with the Padres. So the Diamondbacks and the Padres right now holding that second playoff spot in the wild card. They're just, They're actually technically even with the Braves. They're percentage points behind because the Braves have one less win but also one less loss than Arizona and San Diego. So the Diamondbacks right now, if they can continue to play this way, because the Braves have lost 2 in a row, they might be the wild card leaders before the end of this week. Now, as a Guardians fan, I don't want them to continue to beat up on my team because we've now lost 3 in a row. After we beat up on the Orioles 2 straight nights and then turned around and lost 2 in a row to the Orioles and then losing last night in extra innings to the Diamondbacks. I don't want to see that continue for my Guardians, but a pretty fun series happening on the lakefront in Cleveland right now. The bad news, obviously, is that another D-back is headed to the injured list. Gabby Moreno put on the IL today with what is being categorized as a groin strain. The club is going to call up catcher Adrian Del Castillo from AAA Reno, and he will be making his Major League debut. Always fun to see a youngster get that opportunity. Second-round pick 3 years ago out of the University of Miami, the Hurricanes. Del Castillo hitting .319, a power-hitting catcher. How about that? .319, 24 jacks, 70 ribs. Down in the AAA realm, I guess we don't call it the Pacific Coast League anymore. I think those names have gone away. But Adrian Del Castillo will be called up to replace Gabby Moreno after he was injured running out that ground ball last night in the 7-6 10-inning road win over the Cleveland Guardians. That is the, I believe, second time this season that Moreno has had to go to the disabled list. Batting .262 with 5 home runs, 41 RBIs in 86 games so far this year.
So it still is the PCL.
Is it?
But for 1 year, DK, in 2021, they decided they wanted to change the moniker to, quote, AAA West.
Right.
That lasted 1 year.
Okay.
Back to the PCL.
There we go. All right. So we have some normalcy then. That is good to know because I was a little bit afraid of that. But back to Joc Pederson. I mean, this guy right now, and Joc Pederson is a guy that's never really hit much in terms of average in the major leagues. His best season was 2 years ago in San Francisco. He hit .275, but career .240 hitter known for his power, but not like, he's not like a annual 30-100 guy. I mean, more like a 20-80 guy, if anything like that. But he has just been 2 days in a row. He's gotten it done late in the games. How about these numbers? 7th inning. This is courtesy of PHX Logan, who is up in Phoenix. Does some media work up there. Joc Pederson in the 7th inning or later this season, hitting .270, 8 home runs, 21 runs batted in, with an OPS of 1.022. And he hit that home run last night in Cleveland and was pounding his chest, looking at the dugout, saying, I think he said, "That's me. That's me. I'm him. I'm him." That's Joc Pederson. That's the kind of guy you want in your dugout.
Seems like they have a lot of those guys in that dugout.
Yeah.
DK.
Well, that's why they're never out of a game.
Yeah.
That's why these Diamondbacks are never out of a game. Because they got guys that can just step up big late. They've been having the issues at the back end of the bullpen. Ryan Thompson struggled, blew the save in the 9th last night. They had to go to the youngster. Justin Martinez came in and sent the Tribe down in the 10th to secure the ball game.
So, Arizona, the Diamondbacks, DK, are second in baseball in 9th inning runs per game.
Wow.
Yeah. Only the Twins.
Yeah.
Actually, they're tied.
That's not bad.
No.
I'll take that. I'll take that for sure. So how you feeling? How you feeling about your swinging snakes? As I've nicknamed them now, the swinging snakes. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Again, Joc Pederson, I believe in the last 9 games, hitting over 400. 285 for the season. I mean, this is a guy that's only hit 240. He's never really hit much. But at 32 years old, he seems to have found it. At least 2 of the last 3 seasons. Hit 274, I believe, in 2 years ago, and then dropped back down into the 230s last year. But has hit 280 plus so far this season for the Diamondbacks. And providing some punch late in the games. Good to see. 520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on the Diamondbacks train. We'll have the highlights coming up for you in our next segment as well. Lots more with the Olympics today. We're starting to get into the deep part of the track and field, the 400 hurdles. They ran that. I believe I saw Sydney McLaughlin-Laverne set a PR in winning her semifinal. Femke Bol breezed to hers. That was our question of the day yesterday. I mean, you've got 2 of the best in the world at the 400 hurdles. Heck, these 2, and we've already seen Sydney run the 400 without the hurdles and blow away the field. A lot of people were wanting to see her maybe run that event too.
I've always wondered that because I feel like hurdlers, the timing of that, you have to have those impeccable.
Oh, yeah.
You really have to have your strides down. How that applies, DK, because we've seen a lot of great hurdlers come from America, and I've always wanted to see how those guys and women match up against people who specialize just in the 2 or 4, for instance.
Yeah. I mean, both of these young ladies in a straight 400 could probably be on the podium for their countries. But they run the hurdles, and it's the race. It's the track race that has had the most representation from the University of Arizona in recent years, with the likes of Sage Watson and Georgia Moline being on that stage. And so it's going to be interesting to see those 2 young ladies in the final. Our question of the day yesterday was, should Team USA have run Sydney McLaughlin-Laverne in the mixed 4x4, which was over the weekend? The Netherlands ran Femke Bol as their anchor, and she literally ran past 4 women down the stretch to win the race. I mean, it was it's probably one of the most impressive finishes to a race that you're going to see in terms of a relay race. I mean, you don't see a lot of relay races where an anchor can pass 3-4 people over the course of the last maybe 200 meters, but Femke Bol did that over the weekend.
Did you have a chance to watch the 1,500 meter men today? Because that finish, that finish was crazy. I won't spoil it because I did pull a highlight, but let's just say a guy who's 5'9" snuck past at the end against the traditional 6'1", 6'2" long striders in that race.
Right.
Great finish for that one.
I saw that women's, I think it was the semifinal last night where there was a lot of, it might have been the final, where there was a lot of pushing and shoving.
Yeah.
All of that and
elbowing and grabbing.
And I guess the one girl initially was disqualified, but then they let her back in.
Yeah, I think the officials decided that the contact didn't give anybody an advantage, that kind of thing.
Right. There was a lot of referees and officials changing calls yesterday. We had that in the gymnastics, the floor, where the one girl thought she had won the bronze medal.
Yeah.
And they changed the score for Jordan Childs from the United States, and she ends up winning the bronze medal instead. I mean, how about my wife was like, she felt so bad for that girl because she thought she was on the medal stand, and all of a sudden she's not. That's got to be tough. That's got to be tough when the judges literally rip a medal out of your hands. I can't even imagine that. And we were talking yesterday about Mondo Duplantis.
Yeah.
From Sweden.
Yeah.
Or should I say from Louisiana, because he's actually one of the many Americans born in the United States who competes for another country.
Yeah.
Because his mom is a former Swedish national athlete. So he has that option. When you are a direct descendant, your mom or your dad, and sometimes in some sports, they'll even let you go back to your grandparents.
Yeah. I think a lot of island nations have that kind of thing.
Softball, I mean, we had, I think in softball, we've seen that. And again, it's something we see. I mean, we've had girls on our softball team, Danielle O'Toole and Taylor McQuillan, competed for Mexico in the last Olympics go around. What's the young lady? Her last name's Harshman from Sabino High School, who plays for Canada. So we've seen that a lot. It happens. It's not anything unusual for athletes born in the United States to compete for other countries where they have that family connection. Well, and that's the case with this Mondo Duplantis. I mean, both his parents, I think, went to LSU. His mom is from Sweden. His dad is from the United States. And essentially, his brother, I believe, had competed for Sweden in their track process. And essentially they said, it's almost like basketball. I was hearing this story, and I'm thinking, it's almost like basketball where, they make your dad the assistant coach to get you to come to school there.
Right. Yeah,
That's essentially what they did. They said, you can be the pole vault coach, and we'd like your son to compete for Sweden. And that's how it all went down.
Speaking of basketball, Joel Embiid was born in Cameroon, is a national Frenchman, and is playing for the United States of America in the Olympics.
There you go. So when you get to that level and you have multiple, I wonder if there's like real bidding wars that take place nowadays when you've got an athlete with dual citizenship.
Well, each country sets the price for a gold. So there's your bidding war right there. Each country sets the prize given out to athletes for the gold themselves. So, I mean, all you have to do is, you want to go to Michigan State? How about if I bump that NIL money up to an extra, put another zero on there? You come join us over here. It's a similar thing. I mean, the Olympic athletes are obviously, racing and competing for pride, but there's also a monetary gain because they do get awarded something by their Olympic committees if they do medal.
Absolutely. We'll give you the results of that mixed 400 poll from yesterday when we come back. But right now, cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Collisions that are reported: Ruth Ruff and La Cholla and Ruth Ruff, Avra Valley and Trico Road and Avra Valley Road. That's an overturned vehicle, Avra Valley Road and Trico Road. Ends up Valencia at I-19, collision off in the median, but still you might experience some slowdowns, mostly those curiosity slowdowns, I-19 near Valencia. And for your weather, there is a thunderstorm warning until 4 this afternoon for south central Pima and southwest Santa Cruz counties. In 100 now, I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. It's Mattress Firm's semi-annual sale and clearance. Save up to 60% on a wide selection of quality mattresses at every price. Plus, score a free adjustable base with a qualifying purchase. Hurry and stop by Mattress Firm today.
Why are we named Wildcats Radio 1290? You want answers? Because we outwork everyone else in town to bring you the very best coverage of the Cats. That's why we are the home of the Arizona Wildcats, the one and only Wildcats Radio 1290.
I don't feel so good.
You do feel hot. Dayquil Kids will take care of that fever.
What about my cough?
Dayquil Kids has that covered.
Will it make my throat feel better?
Yes, that too.
But will it taste good?
Yep, Dayquil Kids comes in your favorite flavor.
Purple?
Well, yes, it's grape.
Try new Dayquil Kids Plus Fever, the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6+. Use as directed.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-511-4545. 800-511-4545.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first time Nana moments.
Welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
You've got a Pepto predicament, Beach Bum.
Hey, we're heading down to the beach. You coming?
Yeah, Dad. You coming?
I had a little too much to eat at the resort buffet. I need a minute. Oh, you overdid it. And now your beach vacation is giving you belly waves. Undo it with Pepto.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Pepto Chewables provide fast 5-symptom relief so you can get back to making memories.
Let's go, Dad!
When you overdo it, undo it with Pepto. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Remember, you can hear all the action of Arizona men's basketball this season with Brian Jeffries on Amazon's Alexa by saying,
Alexa, play Wildcats Radio 1290.
The only place to hear Arizona men's basketball is Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is Jim Rome with your Rome Report. Who has it better than Jim Harbaugh right now? Of course, the answer is nobody. Seriously, has anybody ever gotten over the way this dude is getting over right now? No one has ever worked the system better than he's working it right now. This dude just pulled off the ultimate ship jumping, and I'm not sure he's getting enough credit for that. If ship jumping was an Olympic sport, Jim Harbaugh would take the gold. If we were giving Olympic-style scoring for his Michigan dismount, that dude would get a 10 out of 10. You see him yesterday show up in front of the press when asked about what's going on back in Michigan. He said, I have nothing to apologize for. He wouldn't own anything. He acted as if he knew nothing about the sign-stealing scandal. And you know why that is? Because they've got nothing on him. They can't touch him. He's in the NFL, he's untouchable, and he knows it.
Don't miss out on summer brake deals at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, get 15% off a set of Brake Best Select, Select Pro, or Import Direct brake pads and 2 rotors. Restore quality braking and improve stopping performance with parts and advice from the professional parts people. Save money now when you visit O'Reilly Auto Parts or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
light is fading, your hands are sore, and the last tool's been put away. Now is the time to feel the satisfaction that comes with a job well done. But when you get your tools from Harbor Freight, something about the job feels a little different. Your wallet. Because we believe that everyone deserves hardworking tools at hardworking prices. And that's what we have here. So, whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290. Diamondbacks download.
Baseball stuff! Baseball stuff!
All right, Indians, Indians. Okay, maybe I should put some money in the thing for that.
I think that's more of a that's what you grew up with,
Tribe and Diamondbacks. It appears we are going to start this game in a rain delay tonight in Northeast Ohio. Let's see if I can find out quickly here what the start time is now scheduled. It just says it's delayed. Delayed. Original start time was supposed to be 3:40, but they are not going to start on time tonight in Cleveland due to the weather. But tell you a little bit about what happened last night, and things got off to a very quick start for your Snakes, the swinging Snakes, on the first pitch of the game.
D-backs in their gray sets. As Ketel Marte leads it off with a first pitch, swinging a drive deep to left center field. Turning, looking, and watching it go is the left fielder. That is Quan. It's 1-0 Diamondbacks. First pitch of the game. Ketel Marte, number 28 of the year. And for Allen, giving up homers was a little bit of a problem even before that demotion. There's now the 1-2. And Moreno swings. He hits that well. Deep to left. Back it goes. It's onto the concourse. Gone. Back to back right out of the gate for the D-backs. And in the blink of an eye, it's 2-0 Arizona.
This is unbelievable. We saw the first night in Pittsburgh. The Diamondbacks started triple that turned into a Little League homer, followed by 3 straight, and now 2 more to open this game.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks all over Logan Allen, the starter for the Guardians. There was a line drive from Randall Grichuk that basically almost took the young man's head off, and he was down on the field for a number of moments, and after that promptly got sent back down to AAA. So thanks for playing, and we'll see you next time. That's how it works sometimes in the game of baseball. This was a back-and-forth game last night. Tribe got 2 in the first to tie. They take the lead in the second, so it was a 3-2 game, and then it kind of went back and forth in the middle of the game. Arizona would take a 4-3 lead in the 6th. Tribe would come back in the bottom of the 6th and retake the lead by a score of 5-4. It was that score in the 8th when Joc Pederson stepped to the plate with a man on.
And so now here we go. We reset. Joc drives it deep to right field. Joc Pederson has done it one more time. Joc Pederson gives them the lead in Cleveland. He did it yesterday in Pittsburgh, and he's done it again tonight. Wow!
Joc Pederson, I mean, he is on a roll right now for the Snakes. And, again, a pinch hit, 2-run home run, and giving the Diamondbacks the lead. But, again, the things at the back end of the bullpen are still a bit unsettled since Torey Lovullo took Paul Sewald out of the closer role. Ryan Thompson could not get it done in the 9th inning as the Tribe would tie the ball game. D-backs, though, would take the lead in the 10th, and in the bottom of the 10th, Torey Lovullo would hand the ball to the young Justin Martinez to try to close the door.
1-2 on Josh Naylor. 1-0-1, there it is. Herrera hangs on to the foul tip, and Martinez is 1 out away. 0-2 on David Fry. Quan at second, Ramirez at first. 2 outs in the 10th. Justin Martinez saves the day, and the Diamondbacks get another remarkable win on this road trip at 7-6 in Cleveland.
First save of the season for Justin Martinez after Ryan Thompson blew his 6th save although he would get the win to move now to 6-3. There were a lot of pitchers used in this game. There were 13 pitchers used in this game between the two teams. The Tribe used 8 guys after 7 after Logan Allen went 5 innings last night. D-backs get the win by a score of 7-6. Torey Lovullo after the ball game on the victory.
Like a proud dad, I watched an entire team come together and rally around one another. This was a true team effort. You talk about the commitment, the sacrifice, the adaptability on the fly. We were making quick decisions, didn't surprise the guys. The effort, nobody was standing up at the end of that game. I think we were exhausted, and it was a great win. So I was standing there with a lot of pride. And I just wanted to hug every one of them and tell them thank you for this effort. It was a great one.
And what about Joc Pederson? 18 home runs now on the season. 5 of those have come in the last 9 games, in which he is hitting .409, 5 home runs, 12 runs batted in with an OPS of 1.779.
And nothing he does surprises me anymore. I know that there was a pitch around situation. He sat on a curveball, and I said yesterday, he's doing math up there. He's calculating. He's calculating what's going to happen. He's toggling his approach, and he's very dangerous. Just depends on where he's at, and he's unpredictable. And you saw what it equaled today.
And we told you in the first segment that he was excited about that one. After he hit it, looked over at his dugout and said, "That's me. That's me. I'm him."
Got 2 strikes, and was just trying to put a good swing on it. I was just doing me, just doing me. And, I don't got to – the team knows to go. We got a bunch of dogs out here that are ready to do what it takes to win. And everyone shows up every day ready to win, and that's what makes this group special.
And the Snakes right now, 51-42, 9 games above 500 for the first time this season. Second place, tied for second place in the National League wild card. What is behind this team's resurgence right now, Torey Lovullo?
We've got a good baseball team. We've got good baseball players that finally started to play the way that we felt like they were capable of playing. We had a lot of injured athletes. I think, and everybody's going through that. That's not an excuse. 4/5 of our starting rotation, a very good starting rotation. Merrill Kelly, Zach Gallen, Eduardo Rodriguez, Jordan Montgomery, all out at one time. And we felt as soon as we started to layer back in those guys that we were going to get consistent pitching from the mound. And we got a couple of very key players in Geraldo Perdomo and Alec Thomas healthy. And we just felt like it was a matter of time before we started to really play our game and connect things. What we say here is a connected team is a dangerous team. We really believe in that. And our guys know one another. And I just feel like the piece of the puzzle is starting to come together. And we'll place it in there real nice.
We always say in terms of baseball, like when you get a guy off the injured list around this time of the year that maybe has not played all season or has not played since early in the seasons, it's almost like you made a deal at the deadline. And that's the case tonight because Eduardo Rodriguez is going to start tonight if they get to play tonight in Cleveland, Ohio. He was signed to a 4-year, $80 million free agent contract back during the winter meetings in December, but got hurt at the end of spring training, shoulder strain. So he's not pitched all season. Last year was 13-9 with a 3.30 ERA with 26 starts. So this was a guy, Eduardo Rodriguez, that was expected to be a major part of this rotation. When you talk about the injuries you heard Torey talk about, and again, not an excuse, but you're talking about Eduardo Rodriguez, a guy you thought was going to be in your rotation, hasn't pitched all year. Zach Gallen missed time. Merrill Kelly's been out since May. Most people would tell you that that's what you thought was going to be your top 3 guys, your top 3 starters to begin this season. And 2 of those guys haven't even really pitched for this ball club, which is now 9 games above 500, second place in the wild card, and just 5 games behind the Dodgers. Torey Lovullo on what adding Eduardo Rodriguez to this rotation means for this club.
Well, just having somebody like him around inside of the clubhouse, inside of the dugout, it's a big present, and there's so much experience. And he's getting ready to throw his first pitch for the Arizona Diamondbacks. And here we are in August. So it's been a long runway for him. And I know that he's battled through some frustration, but it's here now in front of him, and he's so excited. That's just the guy getting ready. Now we talk about the competitor. We got a really good history with him, Mike Hazen and I, from our time in Boston, and we know what he's built on. He's built on going out there and executing and winning baseball games, and we're going to get a chance to see that tonight. So, we feel like the stuff is very sharp. We've been watching it closely through his rehab progression, and he's extremely excited and ready for this challenge.
Eduardo Rodriguez saying before the game, interviewed yesterday, said it's frustrating every time someone else is up there in your spot when you're supposed to be out there pitching. I wasn't there, so watching the games when that was happening was a little frustrating for me, especially when I was in the middle of all those MRIs and all of that. Ugh, I hate that tube. I cannot. It's just not anything that I dream to want to have to get in the tube for an MRI. So Eduardo Rodriguez gets the start tonight in Cleveland. Again, this was scheduled to be a 3:40 first pitch. It appears we will be in a rain delay to start things tonight. Ben Lively will go for the Guards tonight. He enters with an ERA of 3.42. And so the game, though not starting on time this evening. All right, you've been hearing some sound. Torey Lovullo did an interview today on MLB Network's High Heat. And so this is where we're getting some of this reaction from him. The Guards tonight are the money line favorite at -20, and the over-under tonight is a little bit lower at 7.5 for this ball game. Torey Lovullo also talked about the potential timeline of a return for Christian Walker, who was out with an oblique situation.
Yeah, that was a big loss for us. He, he's such a catalyst, an offensive catalyst for us. And defensively, he saves games. It's known. The statistics prove that. So we're missing a really good baseball player on both sides of the ball. And then on top of that, he's a great teammate. So we know that he's healing up. He's now in Arizona, and he's taking care of his business from a rehab standpoint. In his place, Mike Hazen went out and made a great trade and picked up Josh Bell. And we know that he's gonna hold down the fort. And that's what, when I talked to Walk on the phone the morning of his results, I told him that, we have an obligation to him. We're gonna hold serve for him. And his responsibility was gonna be to take care of his business, heal up, and keep his mind sharp and strong so the day that he's ready to come out and execute, he's gonna help us win baseball games. So real excited that we made that agreement, and we'll see how it moves forward. We know that he's going to do everything he can to help us win games when he's healthy.
And let's also hear real quick here from the skipper on the health of Gabby Moreno, who was taken out of last night's game and has now been placed on IL.
That was a really tough thing to watch yesterday. The funny thing is, we're grown men, right? Grown men running as hard as they can for 90 feet. And, you can see how bad he wanted the base hit because he continued running the last 15 feet, right, to get that base hit. So I'm glad that happened, but I hate the fact that an athlete ended up on the ground and we had to pull him off the field. He's on his way back to Arizona as we speak right now to get an MRI and be evaluated by our doctors. He is going to be put on the IL. And once again, this is where we're at. Everybody has them. You can go through the entire league and see that these players are knocked down and injured. It's who's going to come in and replace these guys and kind of hold down the fort. We're gonna have Del Castillo come up from AAA. He's been having a really, really good offensive season. He's growing defensively. We feel like he's going to be very compatible with Jose Herrera behind the plate, and we should be just fine.
All right, that is the skipper of your Arizona Diamondbacks, Torey Lovullo, talking earlier today on MLB Network's High Heat, and we'll hear more from him coming up. He also gave an update on the situation involving Paul Sewell, and we also have some breaking news in the baseball world. We'll tell you about that as well when we come back. Cricket, though, right now, getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With collisions that have been reported, Valencia and Park Avenue, Ruth Ruff and La Cholla, crash at Avra Valley Road and Trico Road and Avra Valley Road, and on I-19 near Valencia, collision off in the median. There is a thunderstorm warning until 4 this afternoon for South Central Pima and Southwest Santa Cruz counties. 100 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by WhatsApp.
Me and the kids were always messaging. They LOL'd, I ROFL'd, but then I changed phone and the bubbles went green. But where there's a fill, there's a way. And I found a way to share what's in here. I'm tapping my heart.
WhatsApp, the place to safely send messages between different devices. Message privately with everyone.
This is Jim Rome with a Sports Minute, sponsored by Wrangler. It's Wrangler season out there. Open roads, endless horizons. Shop Wrangler.com for new denim styles. I would very much like to keep the Noah Lyles discussion going today because I'm really all about this guy. But there are so many people hating on this guy. And because of what he said about the NBA champs not being world champs, that really has people on tilt. I'm Jim Rome.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
O'Reilly! You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
DK on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
Cricket, did you know that you had a World Cup?
Straight. We're going to have a super over.
Is that like soccer?
I don't understand any of it. I don't understand the terminology. I don't understand. Left-armed seamer, can you believe it or not? He caught a slip.
You don't want to catch a slip.
I don't know what any of those
That's
things
not good at all.
But congrats to the USA for defeating Pakistan.
Yeah, I like the left-hand seamer, though. That sounds like a good thing.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
If you're a do-it-yourselfer looking for quality car parts in Tucson, look no further. Advance Auto Parts has 6 Tucson locations with over 75 years in business. Advance Auto Parts is the largest car parts retailer in the U.S., and customers know they can trust their products, like Die-Hard batteries. Now with free installation, only found at Advance Auto Parts stores. Take advantage of our same-day delivery and pickup. Just visit our website at stores.advanceautoparts.com and make sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Advance Auto Parts for all your car repair needs. Now a proud radio sponsor of the University of Arizona Wildcats.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K, nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills. Enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. Hit the community trails, explore local parks like Saguaro National and Colossal Cave, and mingle at private Diamond Community Park events. In the top-rated Vail School District, Rockin' K is close to work, shopping, and services. Tour 11 different model homes by top-tier builders, offering move-in ready homes and special incentives. Live RockinK.com. Designed by nature, proud U of
of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Your home for in-depth conversation.
Nothing they do is by surprise. They telegraph what they want to do, and then they brag about it afterwards. It's a way to keep us at each other's throats.
The most pressing issues.
This was just a white on black crime, and you can already see the narrative starting to form in real time.
And fresh perspective.
The air marshals will not be on the airplanes because they're down at the border escorting illegal aliens to their Ubers.
America's most loved truth tellers live on Tucson's home for conservative talk. This is Freedom 1400.
Arizona's oldest brewery, Barrio Brewing Company, has been brewing for Arizona for 33 years and offers legendary locally brewed beer, along with great food, all in a wonderful and distinctive industrial atmosphere. Barrio is family-friendly, which includes a dog-friendly patio. They're located just outside of downtown Tucson at 800 East 16th Street. Enjoy popular local brewed beers like Barrio Blonde, Hipster Hazy IPA, and Barrio Rojo, along with seasonal favorites Peach Ale and Senor Sour. Try the Carny Fries on Barrio's new happy hour menu, Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. Food and beer available for dine-in or to-go. Event space rental is also available. Check out their entire beer and food menu, along with a great selection of cool merchandise online at barriobrewing.com. The friendly employee owners of Barrio Brewing Company look forward to seeing you soon.
And this Friday, we've got a sweet deal for you from Barrio Brewing Company. You can get a $50 gift certificate for just $25. And this sweet deal will go on sale this Friday morning at 8:30 at WildcatsRadio1290.com.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Watching a little Olympics right now here in studio. We've got women's volleyball. The United States taking on Poland in the quarterfinals and leading currently by a score of 18-13. We'll keep you up to date on that. The United States men's basketball team won today big, and we'll have some of that coming up for you as well. Some records falling there. A big upset on the men's basketball side as France takes out Canada. We talked about how France could be a kind of a little bit of a sleeper choice in these games with all of the young talent that they've got, including Victor Wembanyama, and they got it done again tonight or this afternoon against what was largely thought to be the second best team in this tournament behind the United States, and that was Canada.
They have the most pros and probably the most talent on Canada's team. The thing they don't have, DK?
Right.
Size.
Yeah.
Their tallest player is 6'10". So basically they brought a whole bunch of NBA all-star level guards, and they went up against Wembanyama and Gobert today. So, yeah.
Not good. We do have some sad breaking news in the world of baseball. Billy Beane has died. Billy Beane was an outfielder for a number of teams in Major League Baseball who was the second man to come out as openly gay to have played in the major leagues. He's been battling leukemia for the last year, and he has passed away today at the age of 60. 24th round pick by the Yankees, went to Loyola Marymount out in Los Angeles and played 6 big league seasons with the Tigers, the Padres, the Dodgers. I do believe, he was currently working with Major League Baseball with their diversity, equity, and inclusion department, but I also believe he worked at one time in the Diamondbacks front office. Prior to that, they have put out a statement saying, "We are devastated by the news and join the entire baseball family in mourning the loss of Billy Beane. Torrey's longtime friendship with Billy brought him closer to all of us in Arizona, and our thoughts are with all of Billy's loved ones at this time." So it may have just been a friendship there with Torrey Lovello and not necessarily him actually working within the organization. So Billy Beane, longtime baseball man, dead tonight at the age of 60 years old. All right, speaking of Torrey Lovello, we had heard a little bit from him in the last segment in our Diamondbacks download. He also had some other things to say when he made his appearance today on MLB High Heat on MLB Network in terms of the situation involving the now former closer, Paul Sewald.
Paul, first of all, has been so good for us. He's just hit a little worse. He's rough patch there in the month of July. And what I explained to him was, I'm just going to take him outside of that role for right now, let him catch his breath. And then He'll tell me when it's that time. He's had 2 really good appearances. They were back-to-back appearances, but I still want to give him a chance to catch his breath. You talk about somebody that knows how to go out there and get big outs. You talk about somebody that knows how to – are you still there? I'm sorry.
I'm here. I got you. Go ahead.
Yeah, that knows how to slow the game down and be a great teammate. Paul Sewald is at the top of the list. So we're going to get him there again. He's going to tell us. But there's some delivery things that we're working on right now. He's got a great pitching coach in Brent Strom. He's got a great support system and the other pitching coaches built around him. And then also he's got a championship mentality. He's going to figure it out. And when that happens, he's going to let us know by his performance.
All right, so that's Torey Lovello talking about Paul Sewald, who obviously has had a bunch of struggles. Interesting stats here on that. Before July 1st, he had allowed 1 earned run in 16 and 2/3 innings. Since July 1st, he's allowed 12 earned runs in 10 innings as Paul Sewald. He has blown 4 saves. He did pitch last night and had a clean inning. Actually, was it last night? I think it was 2 nights ago. Not last night, but the final game of the Pirates series. He pitched a clean inning and got the win as the Diamondbacks rallied on the home run Sunday by Joc Pederson. And so hopefully things will continue to progress, take the pressure off of him, let some of these young guys like Ryan Thompson, Justin Martinez at the back end of the bullpen, along with the newly acquired A.J. Puck, who has obviously had experience in that role as well. Being a closer with the Marlins, Kevin Ginkel, who certainly could close if needed. He's done it as well. So Torey Lovello has some options there as he tries to find some ways to solidify the back end of his bullpen. All right, so again, we are under delay right now in Cleveland. The game was supposed to start at 3:40. We do not have a start time yet on that, but as soon as we have one, we will let you know for sure.
Do you know who has the best save percentage in baseball?
I would guess maybe my guy, Emmanuel Clase.
The Cleveland Guardians as a team, 76%. Yeah, team save percentage. Because I know that there's several closers for the Diamondbacks who've blown saves this year, so you can't put it all at Sewald's feet. Looking it up, 57% is their save percentage as a team. The Guardians lead the majors, 76%.
That's pretty good. It's, again, you got to have guys at the back end. And the Guardians are largely considered to have one of the best bullpens in the game of baseball. And they have been it's hard to win against that team when they've got a lead going into the 7th inning.
That would be 12 blown saves in 50 opportunities.
50 opportunities. There you go. That still seems like a lot. That still seems like a lot when you think about it. But in the grand scheme of things, when you look at other clubs like you mentioned, that really is
when
not
you see a guy like blow 3 in a row, and that's why we're really talking about Sewald, is because that stretch you had 2-3 weeks ago, DK, 3 blown saves in a row really kind of sticks in people's craw, right?
Yeah.
So 12 blown saves in 50 opportunities, might not look great on paper, but relative to what other teams and fans are dealing with, yeah, I think people will take that.
And then there's the Chicago White Sox.
Swing and a miss. And Tyler Ferguson closes the door on the White Sox in Game 1. That's 21 consecutive losses for Chicago. That ties the 1988 Baltimore Orioles. J.P. Sears gets the win. The A's deal the White Sox a tough blow. That's tied for the longest streak in American League history.
I saw that they were at 20, but they were up against the A's, and I was like, there's a chance. There's a chance that we could have some happy White Sox fans, but alas, did not happen.
No, 21 straight losses. They and they've got a rookie on the mound tonight. As they could potentially be the new American League leaders if they lose tonight to Oakland. 22 straight, and that would put them just 1 in front of the all-time record, which currently belongs to the 1961 Philadelphia Phillies, who lost 23 straight games. And again, if they get to that point, they're going to be headed home for the what do they call it? What do they call the Cubs White Sox series in Chicago? The Loop series, or do they have a name for that series there? I don't.
Well, Subway's New York, right?
Yeah, I forget what they call it.
I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah. So anyway, they're going home to face the Cubs this weekend, and they could be sitting on 24 straight losses.
Crosstown Classic.
Crosstown Classic. I thought they had something better than just the Crosstown Classic, but I guess not. So yeah, that's where they are. So a lot of questions about the future of White Sox manager Pedro Grifol, who I believe is in his first season. Heck of a first season, I guess. Not for Pedro Grifol. One name that obviously is in this name is going to come up in probably for just about any managerial position that is that needs to be filled at the end of this season is obviously Arizona Wildcats grad Terry Francona, very familiar with the American League's North Division, having recently managed in Cleveland. AJ Pierzynski, longtime catcher for the White Sox, was on a podcast called Fouts Territory. He had this to say about the potential of Terry Francona managing the White Sox.
Who wants that job? I mean, I've heard Tito Francona. Listen, Tito Francona ain't taking that job unless you guarantee him you're going to spend a lot of money, and the White Sox aren't going to spend a lot of money. I mean, Ozzie says, I don't want the job. Bull bleep. He wants that job. He's wanted that job since the day he went to Miami, and he knows he made a mistake when he went to Miami.
Is that it's probably the only job Ozzie Guillen has really ever wanted, was to be the manager of the White Sox. So again, we've been down that road. There have been teams that have gone down that road twice in the past. I don't think it's happened much recently, but heck, George Steinbrenner hired Billy Martin 3 times, so why not give Ozzie Guillen another chance? I mean, heck, if anybody could light a fire under the White Sox, it's one of the best shortstops to ever play that position on the South Side. I wouldn't necessarily be against an Ozzie Guillen return to manage the White Sox. But again, like the man said, like AJ said, they're terrible. They're absolutely awful right now. And they're going to have to spend some money to try to get out of that. And right now, that organization with whoever's, I don't even know if it's the same folks, that are leading that organization right now, but they don't seem to have very much interest in spending on free agents there on the South Side.
Tito would be the 5th oldest manager in baseball if he came back.
Yeah, I don't know if he wants to come back to that. And then they already went down that road when how long ago was it? 3 years ago they hired Tony La Russa to come back.
Yeah.
So I mean, again, second time they've already been down the let's hire an ex-manager. They did that with him. Maybe they would do it with Guillen, who's I would think obviously much younger than Tito. But I mean that's I don't know if you want that.
Still Michael Jordan's favorite guy.
Yeah,
Jerry Reinsdorf.
Jerry Reinsdorf. Yep. Mm-hmm. Not good. Not good at all. All right, DK on the sports tip. Hour number 1 is in the books. We've got a lot still to come for you. Megan Shelf is going to join us on the show. Arizona Soccer is in Las Vegas. They're going to play UNLV tomorrow. This is an important season. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Megan Shelf is going to tell you, I would imagine, that this is an important season. We'll ask her how important this season is. She's one of the captains on this team. Also, in case you missed it, Brent Brennan was a guest earlier on Jim Rome. We'll let you hear that. Also, Brian Peterson. No relation to Joc Pederson, or at least I don't know that we'll have to ask Brian if he's any relation to Joc Pederson. And Brian Peterson from AZ Desert Swarm will join us. We'll talk some Arizona football as well as a few other things. We'll maybe dive into Trey Townsend. We got a chance to hear from a few weeks ago, and maybe some of the now that the I think the deadline has passed for if you were drafted to sign, and I think that worked out pretty well for Arizona baseball. A lot of the kids they drafted did not sign, so they should be showing up here on campus in a few weeks to play for Chip Hale. So we'll get an update on Brian on all that as well. J.W. Madden is here. Cricket will be with us as well in the 4 o'clock hour. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. I-19 near Valencia, collision off in the median, and tow trucks on scene. It is clearing. I-19 near Valencia. Other crashes, Aver Valley Road and Trico Road. That's an overturned vehicle. Crash at Ruth Ruff and La Cholla. There is a thunderstorm warning in effect until 4 for South Central Pima and Southwest Santa Cruz counties. 100 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Bank of America. Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America, N.A. Copyright 2024.
Westwood One Sports presents this special update on the 2024 Summer Games. Devin Booker scored 8 points. Anthony Edwards had 17. Joel Embiid posted 14. And Anthony Davis had 13 as the U.S. men's basketball team rolled into the semifinals with a 122-87 win over Brazil. LeBron James had 12 points and 9 assists. Kevin Durant scored 11. Durant is now the all-time leading scorer in Team USA history. The Americans will face Serbia in the semifinals on Thursday. The U.S. women's soccer team got an extra-time goal from Sophia Smith to beat Germany 1-0. The Americans will play for gold on Saturday against Brazil. They beat Spain by a score of 4-2. And 3 more gold medals for the United States today brings their total to 24, the most of any nation in these games. Cole Hawker won gold in the men's 1,500 meters. Gabby Thomas won the women's 200 meters. And Amit Elor was the top finisher in the women's 149-pound wrestling final. With this Summer Games update, I'm Ryan Radke, Westwood One Sports.
Hi, welcome to Staples. Hi, my son's teacher emailed his back-to-school list. He needs crayons and a comp book for every subject.
Okay, no problem. With Staples Hot Deals, you'll find super low prices on hundreds of items for back to school.
Oh, now they're saying he needs folders and glue.
You got it.
And markers?
Of course.
Oh, geez.
Can we get a card, please?
Save big on back to school with Staples Hot Deals. Right now, 24-pack Crayola crayons and comp books are only 50 cents each at Staples. Ends 8/24, in-store only, limit 10.
Broken bricks, falling fences, damaged doors, Gorilla Glue. Of course. It's incredibly strong and 100% waterproof and bonds, well, virtually everything. While you're at it, look for Gorilla Tape, a heavy-duty double-thick duct tape, and Gorilla Super Glue, great for all your quick fixes and repairs. There's also Gorilla Epoxy, Gorilla Wood Glue, Gorilla Construction Adhesive. Of course. You get it. If you can break it, Gorilla can fix it. For the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this. If something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
This is it. Shop the Lowe's Closeout event to get up to 70% off select major appliances for your home. Plus, get up to 60% off select patio furniture and accessories for your outdoor spaces. So hurry into your local store today because these deals are too good to last. Shop them now before they're gone because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 8/7 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
Really? Really free. That's our polar bear promise.
You don't need us telling you it's been hot.
Really hot. Really.
You just need to know if your AC breaks down,
we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
William just said that.
It's the Alaskan AC
With
service
Alaskan
guarantee.
AC service guarantee.
Hey, Gary was speaking.
Thanks. Like I was saying, we'll arrive
in one day or your repair is free.
Okay, let's try this. At Alaskan Air Conditioning, we promise to be at your house in 24 hours or the fixing thing won't cost you any monies.
What?
What? I just said with Alaskan AC.
Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
See, now that's easy to remember. It's a toe tapper. Really from AlaskanAC.com.
Are you ready to smell better naked? I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the OBGYN creator of Lumi, the whole body deodorant that's clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours on pits, feet, privates, and beyond. It's pH optimized to safely and effectively control odor anywhere you have it, but wish you didn't. Plus, it's proven to work better than a shower with soap alone. Whether you shower twice a day or 3 times a week, Lumi works better. And who doesn't want zero body odor? With over 200,000 5-star reviews, I'm so sure you're going to love it
or you can return it for free.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code BETTER and get 15% off your first purchase with code BETTER, like the Lumi Starter Pack, Acidified Body Wash, or new Lumi Plus Sweat Control. That's LUME Deodorant.com, code BETTER for 15% off your first purchase. Love it or return it for free. That's LUME Deodorant.com, code BETTER to save 15% today.
You hear it all the time. Lawyers talk about all their experience, many years of experience with insurance companies, and experience in the courtroom. But what they're not talking about is their results. Maybe they don't have any. At Lerner & Rowe, we're proud of our results because that's how we measure our success. We've helped over 150,000 people recover billions of dollars for their injuries, with over $1 billion just in the last 5 years alone. When you want results, call Lerner & Rowe.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. The one and only home of Arizona football. Pre- and post-game coverage, play-by-play, and live press conferences. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Hour number 2 on a Tuesday. Glad you could be with us. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. 520-848-1290. We want to talk sports with you. Got into a lot of Diamondbacks in that first hour. We're going to touch on the Olympic Games here in this hour. So if you don't want to hear any of that because you want to go home and watch it later and be tied to the television in earnest like my wife has been, watching just about everything involved with the Olympics, then I would say turn it off right now because we're about to get into the Olympics. The United States women have for years had a stranglehold on the women's 200 meters you can go down the list of great runners that have been in that race. I mean, Allison Felix being the most recent. She obviously has retired now, but it is still in capable hands for the United States.
Set. The double is on the line for Julian Alfred. A gold is on the line for Gabby Thomas.
Alfred knows she has to get away from Gabby Thomas to have any chance. She hasn't done that. Gabby Thomas is in control already.
Gabby Thomas comes off the turn with force, with power, and Gabby Thomas is running away from the field. It's gold for USA.
Gabby Thomas wins the gold medal for the United States of America to continue again that dominance that they have had in that race. So good to see her continuing. It's always fun to watch the youngsters when you have a race that's been maybe dominated by one or two people over the course of time, and now you start to get some younger runners who have that opportunity to come in and to kind of etch their name into history. And Gabby Thomas doing an outstanding job for the United States of that. A personal best time of 21.60.
Flojo, still.
Absolutely.
1988, DK. That's how long that world record has stood.
Wow.
1988.
That's it's tough when you've got a legend like that. But that's what you run for. You run for an opportunity to compete with that legend. Gabby Thomas from a small school too, was recruited to go to Harvard out of high school. Grew up in Atlanta and Massachusetts. But again, an Olympic champion. 2020, won a silver in the 4x100, won the bronze in the 200, and now she is a gold medalist in that same event in 2024. So congratulations to Gabby Thomas. Also today, J-Dub mentioned it earlier, a pretty exciting finish to the men's 1,500 meters.
The wait is over. The final of the men's 1,500 is underway. The three medalists from Tokyo are in the top three positions as Timothy Chariot comes up to third now, just on fourth with Josh Kerr. It could be a repeat of Tokyo, or is somebody going to get in the mix?
This is your podium from Tokyo, first, second, third, right now, in the race right now.
And look at the Americans on the bell lap. Yaron Naguse, Cole Hocker, and Hans Kessler. They're in the top six. And look at Hocker. Hocker can sniff a medal.
Hocker needs to move around Naguse here if he's going to put himself in contention. 55-8 on that last lap. Josh Kerr is waiting. He needs to pounce now if he's going to take this title from Ingebrigtsen.
Look at Cole Hocker. He feels he can get a medal, and so too does Yaron Naguse. Hans Kessler wants in on the conversation. Ingebrigtsen. Cole Hocker on the inside. He gives him a little shove and Kerr goes by. Here comes Josh Kerr on the outside. All the talking is over. The world champion is in front. But Cole Hocker's not done with yet. Cole Hocker wins gold.
Cole Hocker wins the gold medal for the United States as the USA in that particular race go gold bronze, with Yared Naguse claiming third place there. How about that finish by Cole Hocker?
You got to go see it, listeners, if you didn't see that one. It's only the fourth gold, DK, for the United States in this event. It's also the first time, you mentioned the bronze as well for the U.S., first time since 1912 that two Americans were on the podium for the 1,500 meters.
1912.
It's been a minute. This is not a race that the Americans have, I was going to say dominated. They haven't even been, overly successful at. Great Britain with 5 golds, Kenya with 4, United States with 4 as well now. The finish, though. The finish was insane because Cole Hocker's like 5'9", and all the other racers in this event tend to be about 6 feet long stride guys. So he just kind of snuck in and behind. He went inside at the finish. So it was a really amazing finish, for sure. You got to go see it.
So the United States getting the job done there. And then, again, we mentioned on the basketball side, the United States men's team wins big to advance to the semifinals. The upset of the day, though, comes from the nation of France.
Canada, tallest player in this starting group, Dwight Powell at 6'10". Wembanyama will jump it with him at 7'4". Wembanyama the early touch, and guess who's going to accept the responsibility defensively? Dylan Brooks. Yabusele fires and drills a 3. Dort crosses and drives. Physical inside, knocked away by Wemby. Fast break once again for France. Cornier, same spot, same result. Canada has gone without a field goal in 6 minutes of game action until now. Jamal Murray, splash. Couldn't catch it cleanly. Oh, that's ridiculous. Wemby, leave it. Lasor for 2.
He's like go-go gadget arms, bro.
SGA 2 for 2 in the last 2 possessions. Same spot, same result. SGA hangs and hits. That is too good from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Gilgeous-Alexander, step back. He buries it.
Okay, he's here finally. There we go.
Yabusele, leave it. Ntilikina, 3 on the shot clock. Cornier, open, 3 ball.
Wrong
again.
Guy. Wrong guy.
Cornier connects. Cornier. Oh, it's nobody. He stepped up. He almost knocked another one in. Wembanyama floats it up and in.
Nice. Listen, this is not an 82-game season plus playoffs. This is a 6-game push right here to try to get to that stand, to try to get to that podium. And so these guys are playing with so much passion.
Oh, Yabusele! Now you see me. Now you don't.
Psych.
Wembanyama. 2 to shoot. Fournier, a bomb. Oh! It's a French finish. Fournier delivers again. A wire-to-wire French victory. And it's France setting up a rematch in the semifinals with Germany as they advance in the Paris Games.
The guy that a lot of people are piling on, DK, is Jamal Murray. You might remember him a couple years ago from the World Championships. Trey Lyles, World Championship Denver Nuggets team. Jamal Murray really struggled for Canada in this Olympics. That's a team, DK, with so much talent. You look at just Shea, he is been second in the MVP voting, and he's the highest MVP vote getter for guards. It's all been about Joel Embiid and Joker these last 4 cycles for the MVP. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is sneaking into that conversation. So much young talent on that squad. It's just maybe a little too short. Maybe a little bit more size is what's needed when you go up against the likes of Wembanyama on that French side. The French side actually came into this game with the reputation of not having very strong guard play. It wasn't necessary. They got up to a huge lead, 15-point lead there in the second quarter, and never looked back, DK.
If I told you again, and it's, basketball is about much more than offense, but if I told you that the 2 most recognizable names, Victor Wembanyama and Rudy Gobert, would combine for 7 points in this game, and France would win by 9, would you have believed that?
They bombed. They were bombing it from the outside. A lot of the guys were just knocking down shots, and I like it when the home country that might not be among the top 5 or top 10 nations in the world at that particular sport get that extra boost from the home crowd, because the French fans clearly you'll hear no louder cheers than for any other team than for Wembanyama and those guys.
82-73, the final for France as they knock off Canada and knock Canada out of the Olympic tournament in the semifinals. We're joined by the third member of our team. Her name is Cricket. Cricket always has something fancy to give away, whether it's tickets, restaurant stuff. What is it today that you're giving away over there, Cricket? What do you got in your bag of gifts? Your bag of goods. I think we might start calling you Santa Cricket or something of that nature.
That works, man.
Yeah?
Well, we're going to try.
Like that?
I do.
Okay.
I would be down with that.
All right.
We're going to save you some money on Friday. Our sweet deal from Barrio Brewing Company. You pay $25, but you'll get $50 to spend. That sweet deal Friday, 8:30, WildcatsRadio1290.com. And about Barrio Brewing Company, they've been brewing beer in Arizona for 33 years with legendary, locally fresh brewed beer.
Okay, so what's your favorite? What's everybody's favorite Barrio beer? What's yours? Do you have
I don't know. I'm ghetto. I drink like the really cheap stuff.
Pabst Blue Ribbon or what's
Natty Light, Natural Light, Mick Ultra.
Do you like Barrio? Are you in?
It just depends on my mood, but in general, I think probably Juicy is pretty good.
Juicy?
Yeah, I like their stouts pretty good too.
Right.
It just depends.
I'm a straight Rojo guy.
Yeah,
I like Rojo.
Amber.
Absolutely. All right. What else is happening over there?
Well, they also have really good food in addition to all their ice cold beer. And Barrio Brewing is family friendly. They also have a dog friendly patio, and they've got like these popular local brewed beers like Barrio Blonde, Hipster Hazy, IPA, and Barrio Rojo. Happy hour Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 when we can't go. And you can also get more information about their beer selection. Check out their menu and all that good stuff. BarrioBrewing.com.
We're gonna have to get somebody on the city council to have these bars extend their happy hour till at least 7 o'clock. Why are we ending happy hour at 6 o'clock? I don't understand that. Somebody that works in a restaurant, call and let me know why we're ending happy hours at 6 p.m.
What you do is you go to your local watering hole.
Used to work it. Why are we doing that? Used to work in the business.
I'll explain how this works. What you do is you go to your local watering hole semi-regularly. You're very cheerful and happy, and you tip well. And then every time you go in is happy hour.
Oh.
Really?
Yes, really.
All right. Huh. Every time you go
we're both scratching our heads. Really? How did I not know this?
Yep.
Just the insides of the inside game of the bar and restaurant industry here. Straight from J.W. Madden. There you go.
Learn something every day.
All right, so that is a sweet deal on Friday. Wildcats Radio 1290.com, 8:30 a.m. Is that when we're doing 8:30 a.m.? 50 for 25.
Yes, sir.
That seems to be the magic number.
It is.
With these sweet deals, for sure. All right, Barrio Brewing and Company in Armory Park. We couldn't remember the name of Armory Park yesterday. Just a beautiful part of the city. Get on over there and check it out. Lots of good stuff happening at Barrio Brewing Company. Lots of great things, I'm sure, happening out on the streets. Be safe out there. Don't text and drive and all of that stuff. Keep your eyes on the road. And Cricket will tell you where all the accidents are so you can avoid them.
And from the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. With collisions that are reported at Oracle and Wilds Road, La Cholla and Lambert Lane, Campbell and Valencia, Ruthroff and La Cholla, an earlier overturned vehicle at Avra Valley Road and Trico Road. There is a severe thunderstorm warning for East Central Pima County until 4:45. It's 100 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. With Staples Hot Deals, you'll find super low prices on hundreds of items for back to school. Right now, 24-pack Crayola crayons and comp books are just 50 cents each at Staples. Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program. In-store only, offer ends 8/24, limit 10. Save big on back to school at Staples.
I'm Omar Reese with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Harrison Butker became the highest paid kicker in the NFL, agreeing to terms with the Chiefs on a 4-year, more than $25 million contract extension that includes almost $18 million guaranteed, according to NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport. In 7 seasons with Kansas City, Butker has made 89% of his field goal attempts and nearly 95% of his point-after tries. Texans head coach DeMeco Ryans confirmed that quarterback C.J. Stroud and the rest of the starters will play in Friday's preseason game against the Steelers. Elsewhere, the Raiders getting ready to kick off their preseason on Saturday against the Vikings, and head coach Antonio Pierce says both quarterbacks, Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell, will play, quote, a legit quarter. Pierce adding who goes out first and second doesn't matter. Both will get a chance to showcase. And in Seattle, quarterback Geno Smith returned to practice after missing 4 previous sessions with a knee and hip injury. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Savings. Now that's speaking the Lowe's language. And when you join My Lowe's Rewards for free, the savings just keep coming. Save money with member-only offers, plus earn points when you shop. More points equal more rewards, just for you. Because Lowe's knows you earned it, literally. Learn more about our loyalty program at lowes.com/MyLowe'sRewards and become a member for free today. Program subject to terms and conditions. Points are awarded on eligible purchases. See Lowe's.com/terms for full details. Subject to change.
We are Tucson's home of the NFL. Sunday, Monday, Thursday night football.
Wide open for Mahomes.
The NFL playoffs.
He high steps it in for the touchdown.
And the Super Bowl. This is Tucson Sports Station. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to health care. And that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE, 855-51-BIBLE.
I'm embarrassed to say this. I've been using deodorant on my armpits for 30 years, and anytime I noticed odor anywhere else, I thought I needed another shower, I wasn't clean, or I felt like there was something wrong with me. And then my gynecologist told me about Lumi. It's a whole body deodorant for pits, feet, and privates that controls odor anywhere and everywhere on your body. Since Lumi, I never have to worry about body odor ever again, anywhere on my body. And that reassurance is worth every penny.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code SHOWER and get 15% off your first purchase with code SHOWER, like the Lumi Starter Pack, Acidified Body Wash, or new Lumi Plus Sweat Control. That's LUME deodorant.com, code SHOWER for 15% off your first purchase. With over 200,000 five-star reviews, I am so sure you're going to love it. Or return it for free with Lumi's 60-day money-back guarantee. That's LUME deodorant.com, code SHOWER to save 15% today.
Sean Furrier here for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care with an instant savings offer just for radio listeners. So if you need tires, right now is the time to save big on every tire brand and over 25,000 tires. You'll save big with manufacturer's rebates, and radio listeners unlock up to $200 savings on tires when you visit jackfurriers.com/radio. Huge savings on tires just for radio listeners. But you've got to visit jackfurriers.com/radio to unlock this special offer, which saves you more. Who thought you could get paid for listening to the radio? Jack Furrier has tires for your car, truck, 4x4, CUV, SUV, EV, hybrid, trailer, RV, even your wheelbarrow. All 14 of Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's award-winning locations are standing by and ready to help with the very best prices on affordable tires and no hidden extras. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there. But make sure to get your extra instant savings at jackfurriers.com/radio.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
It's so hot and sticky. I can't stand this humidity. I'm melting.
Melting!
So you can either check for hot flashes and duck or call Pixrock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
It's not hot flashes.
We're calling Pixrock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing right now at 520-492-0748.
Pixrock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Wildcats Radio 1290 is everywhere. Wildcats fans can listen to us everywhere on our all-new app. Now available from the Google Play Store and the App Store for iPhone users. The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
As always, the first team to hit the field annually to start any athletic year for the Arizona Wildcats is Arizona Soccer, and their first real match is just 9 days away when the ladies will travel up to Grand Canyon to kick off this 2024 season. But before that, they are in Las Vegas for a friendly tomorrow night against UNLV, and we're pleased to be joined by one of the senior leaders on the Arizona women's soccer team, Megan Chelf, out of Corona Del Mar High School in Newport Beach, California, joins us. Megan, appreciate you taking a few moments to join us. You know, we were talking on the show yesterday about how, soccer just seems to just get right into it. I mean, you guys just started practicing 4 days ago. You're on the pitch Sunday night playing Arizona Western. I mean, not wasting any time, getting right into some game action.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I mean, we've been here since July 8th doing captain's practice. Obviously, we've only been with the coaches for less than a week. So things move pretty fast. But it's really exciting. I think this year is going to be a big year for us. So I'm excited to get the ball moving and get going on this season.
You mentioned captain's practice, and I'm sure that's very similar to the player-run practices that we reference when we're talking about Arizona football. Run us through the captain's practices, what that entails, how you guys set those up, and who kind of leads what happens during those workouts.
Yeah, so we have two captains. It's me and Nikki Dallin, and we kind of work to exactly how a typical practice with coaches would be. So you might be familiar, but we wear like a little GPS unit on our back that tracks our distance, our speed, our accelerations, our decelerations, all that stuff. And we work with our strength coaches and a lot of staff, obviously everyone besides our coaches, to kind of network to see how we're going to be as fit as we can be by the time we're with coaches, as strong as we can be, building confidence in our new players, just everything that we can do. So Nikki and I run those practices, and we do similar drills that we would do with coaches, kind of get everyone prepared for what the season's actually going to look like. So that way when the coaches do come out to the first practice, it's not too different.
So obviously you mentioned you're one of the captains, and I would imagine these the player run or the captain's practices, are those mandatory? Are they voluntary? And like if somebody's supposed to be there and they're not there, like how does Megan Shelf let them know that hey, you need to be here?
So captain's practice is optional, but highly encouraged, obviously, to have the best season that we can have and the season that we all want to have. Everyone should be there, and everyone was there. No one questioned it. Everyone is on the same page. We all have the same goal. We all want the same things for this season. So it never felt like we had to like pull teeth to get people there, which is nice. But if people weren't there, I don't know. I'd probably just see what's going on with them. Maybe they need a little extra motivation. However I can help them, that's part of my job.
Extra motivation. So is that Megan Shelf telling somebody you need to go over to the side and maybe just do some running?
Maybe. I don't know.
You mentioned, obviously, the importance. I mean, this is a program that has not been to the postseason in a number of years now. Do you feel like this is a statement year for Arizona women's soccer?
Oh, absolutely. I think this year is a huge year for us. I think that it's a statement year, most importantly, just because of it being a new conference. We get a chance to prove ourselves against, obviously, a bunch of new teams. My team, I would take my team, my entire roster, any day, week against any opponent. Like that's how much faith and trust I have in the players and the faculty and staff behind this program. I think that we train really hard, we push ourselves, and I think that this new environment will be huge for us, and we're going to make a huge first impression in setting that standard and kind of showing what we're capable of.
We're pleased to be joined by Megan Shelf, fifth-year senior midfielder for Arizona women's soccer. The ladies are going to take on UNLV in a friendly on Wednesday night, and then next Thursday, August the 15th, will be the season opener at Grand Canyon. You mentioned the Big 12. Do you anticipate it's going to be a different style of play in the Big 12 than what you've faced in the Pac-12 for the first 4 years of your career?
I think that's a good question, but I think the Pac-12, how I felt about the Pac-12 is you can't really take any game for granted. You could prepare for a Pac-12 game one way, and it could end up being the exact opposite of how you prepared. So I think the Big 12 will provide a little more consistency from game to game, but I think that my team was overall pretty prepared from the last 3 seasons under Becca to expect the unexpected and to always have another plan in case one doesn't work out. So I feel like we're overall prepared for anything. I think that, like you mentioned, there might be a different style of play, but it's nothing that we're not prepared for.
And just looking at this, the way the schedule lines up, it's a little bit different than what we've seen in the Pac-12 conference. Instead of playing mostly Friday, Sunday, you're going to be playing Thursday, Sunday. So you'll have 2 days in between. I have to imagine that the ladies like that.
Yeah, it'll be great. It's definitely more time to recover in between games, which is super important for many things, preventing injuries, staying in shape, all of that. It's also more consistency throughout the week with training and recovery and everything that goes along with what to get prepared for the game. So I think just a lot more consistency throughout the season. Like we've mentioned, it's a fast season, so it goes pretty fast. But the Thursday, Sunday will be awesome.
We mentioned, obviously, that you guys have the captain's practices. I want to kind of just maybe get a sense of the entire year, because you mentioned it is a very fast season. You guys you start first, and you're usually done the first in terms of the fall seasons. So let's go back to last year. After that last match ends, you guys walked off with the big win against Arizona State, the disappointment of not making the postseason. How quickly do you get back into it? Do you take a couple of weeks off to kind of just rest and recharge? And how quickly are you back into preparation for the next season?
Yeah, so our coaches and the faculty and staff that work with us are the smartest people I might be biased, but I think that they are so smart with what they're doing and how they work us and just the sports science behind it. So after season, we typically do a deload where we're kind of resting our bodies a little bit more. And then typically when we come back from Christmas break or winter break, we kind of start to ramp it up again. Obviously we have spring season, so we're getting back into games. But everything is based on sports science and numbers and kind of working your way back to hit those game numbers and your typical game load. So we kind of, in your words, take it lighter going into winter break, and then we ramp it back up after once January comes around.
Did you know right away that you were going to come back and play a fifth year? Was that a kind of a decision-making process that you mulled over through the holidays, or were you pretty set that you were going to play again?
Like I've said, I'm super, super proud and really, really thankful to be a part of this program. I wasn't quite ready to walk away from this program and this team and this coaching staff. I think mainly just because I know the power and the capability that this team has to offer. I don't think that we in the past have reached our potential, so I felt a little uneasy if I were to have walked away last season. Obviously this program has given me so much opportunity to grow as a player and as a person. So I felt like I had a little bit more to contribute and more to achieve with my whole team.
The season is on the horizon for Arizona soccer. The ladies are on the road in Las Vegas, Nevada to take on UNLV in a friendly on Wednesday night. Season opener next Thursday on the road at Grand Canyon. Pleased to be joined by fifth-year senior captain Megan Shelf from Southern California. And Megan, this team coming back this year, a lot of veterans on the roster. So what's going to be the strength of the side this year?
The last couple years we've been building a lot on team chemistry and kind of nailing down some fundamentals, and I feel like this year we're really turning the corner. We've got it all on lock. We're teaching the rookies, the young players, how to do it, when to do it, and I think having veterans on the field, there's no better way to learn than to just learn from the people that have been here longer and been doing it longer than you have. So I think it'll be really awesome. Our new players bring a lot of talent, a lot of new things for us, which is really exciting. And I think that there's a good mix of talent and competitiveness, which obviously drives the team. So I think it'll be a really, really awesome year.
What's it like not having Hope Heisey out there for the first time in your career?
Oh, man, I miss Hope Heisey. It's weird. It's weird for sure. Obviously, she was a statement back there in the goal. But you know what? That's what happens. Life goes on. You have to, put trust and faith into that new keeper that's stepping in. And the best thing that we can do is keep a strong back line and strong 10 players in front of that keeper, build that confidence and help them kind of navigate, get their confidence up and push them to be exactly what Hope was for us.
Yeah, you've got three youngsters back there in the goal that are competing for that spot. What have you seen from them? Who's kind of maybe stepping to the forefront for you?
Yeah, it's awesome. Like I said, our practices, we train really hard. So there's a lot of competitive drive. So as far as keepers, it'll be interesting to see who ends up starting for us. But it's been really awesome. It's not only just competition in the goal, but obviously all over the field. There's a lot of new players. There's a lot of returners. We're trying to figure out the best 11 to start on the field. So yeah, there's just a lot of competition, which is awesome, and I think a lot of us feed off of that, which has been really fun.
Megan Shelf joining us. She is one of the senior captains, fifth year. So you graduated. What was your degree in, and where are we looking to go with that after soccer?
So I graduated last December with a bachelor's in nutritional science, and then started my master's in the spring in legal studies. And, I don't really know what I want to do. I feel like it changes all the time. So I don't know. Originally, I was going to say I want to be a nurse, but I don't know. I want to play. I'm not ready to hang up the cleats yet, so we'll see where that takes me.
Yeah. So, what options do you think will be available for you if you making that decision to continue to potentially play at a higher level?
I think this is a really important year for me. I think that I need to do a lot of things right. Obviously, I want to be a big impact player. I want to not only not selfishly, I want to have a good year, but I want to also be the best person for the team. I want to do everything I can to help my team win. So, I mean, that could look different in every single game, but I want to just be an impact player. I want to have the biggest impact on the field. And then when I'm not on the field, I want my presence to be missed on the field.
Megan Shelf joining us for a few more minutes. Megan, I know you guys took a kind of a side tour on the way to Vegas to Lake Havasu. Was that kind of like get out of the heat, maybe get some training in a little bit cooler environment, as well as maybe bond up there on the lake? I know you're a lake girl. You like to be on the water.
Yeah, I love the water. Yeah, Havasu was really fun. It was just a good way for us to break up the drive a little bit. We came out here. We were going to do disc golf yesterday, but it was a little too hot. So instead we went down and jumped in the water. It was awesome. I mean, we've got a really, really great group of girls this year for this season. So it's been really fun getting to know all the new players, building those relationships off the field so that it can translate better on the field. So we've had a great time this last month or so.
All right, when Megan Shelf hits the lake, what's the one thing she really loves to do? Are you into the water sports, like water skiing, or just like kind of relaxing?
No, I'm not much of a relaxer. I'm always on the go. I like to go tubing. I like water sports. I like it all. I love being on a boat. I grew up on a boat, so a little lake life is never hurt anyone. I love the water, so it feels good to be back.
There you go. Well, hey, Megan, continued success. Best of luck as we get this new era of Arizona Wildcats soccer going in the Big 12. Looking forward to this 2024 season and watching you ladies play.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Megan Shelf, Arizona senior captain. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions that are reported at Irvington and 12th Avenue and some westbound slowing. Prince Road west of 1st Avenue. Ahaway at I-10. Oracle north of Golder Ranch Road. 1st Avenue and Grant. La Cholla and Lambert Lane. Overturned vehicle, Ever Valley Road and Trico Road. There is a severe thunderstorm warning for East Central Pima County until 4:45 today. And 100 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Big O Tires. Big O Tires has the lowest tire price guarantee. Now through August 27th, buy 3, get 1 free on 4 select in-stock brand tires with installation purchase. See store for details or visit BigOTires.com. This sale is for a limited time and it's only at Big O Tires. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
This is Zach Gelb with the Sports Minute, sponsored by Metal Supermarkets, the convenience source for metal. Find the store at metalsupermarkets.com. Dan Quinn revealed the worst-kept secret ever that Jaden Daniels will start the Commanders' first preseason game on Saturday. Anyone with a brain following this knows that as long as Daniels is healthy come September 8th, he'll start the Commanders' first regular season game as well. Daniels is ready to roll while having 2 solid running backs and a number 1 wide receiver, and not having him be QB1 from the jump would have been a waste of everyone's time. I'm Zach Gelb.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. With a huge variety of metals in stock, we can help no matter what job comes your way. And all it takes is a few clicks. We make buying metal online easy so you can spend less time shopping and more time getting things done. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores for metal. Place an order online today at metalsupermarkets.com.
O'Reilly.
Don't miss out on summer brake deals at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, get 15% off a set of Brake Best Select, Select Pro, or Import Direct brake pads and 2 rotors. Restore quality braking and improve stopping performance with parts and advice from the professional parts people. Save money now when you visit O'Reilly Auto Parts or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
DK on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
Is Charlie Woods the most anticipated, follow in the footsteps child of an athletic Hall of Famer we've ever had? Bronny James, as good as he may be, still has to compete within the parameters of a team sport. Golf is individual. Dale Earnhardt Jr. came along just at the beginning of the social media era. I don't know that there's anybody else.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
An interleague showdown in the Windy City headlines Tuesday's MLB slate and the BetQL model legs aside. I'm Chris Mack here to help you beat the books with BetQL. The Twins headed to Wrigley for Game 2 of their series against the Cubs. And Minnesota's won each of their last 7, played as a moneyline favorite. The BetQL model likes them to keep it rolling today and get the victory. Minus 140 on the money line is a 4-star play. I'm Chris Mack. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetQL and BetMGM apps today.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
Really? Really, really?
Really? Free!
That's our polar bear promise.
You don't need us telling you it's been hot.
Really hot. Really, really.
You just need to know, if your AC breaks down,
we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free. William just said that.
It's the Alaskan AC
With
service
Alaskan
guarantee.
AC service guarantee. Hey, Gary was speaking.
Thanks. Like I was saying, we'll arrive
in one day or your repair is free. Okay, let's try this. At Alaskan Air Conditioning, we promise to be at your house in 24 hours or the fixing thing won't cost you any monies.
What? What?
What? I just said with Alaskan AC. Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in one day or your repair is free.
See, now that's easy to remember. It's a toe tapper. Really, really, really from AlaskanAC.com.
For 100 years, O'Reilly Chevrolet has been part of the fabric of Tucson, just as our Chevy trucks are part of the fabric of America. With that in mind, we're proud to announce it's officially truck season. And this year we have Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, the all-new Chevy Colorado. Test drive your new Chevy truck on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or check out our entire lineup at O'Reilly.com. Don't miss truck season, going on now at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think first chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
For over 30 years, Tucson has been putting its trust in First Chiropractic for auto and on-the-job injuries. They're locally owned and a proud sponsor of the U of A radio broadcast. So if you've been injured, make the right choice first.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Go Wildcats! As a new season starts, the Tucson Police Department bears down with the Tucson community. We are looking to build our team, and we need you. Interested in joining our starting lineup? Visit jointucsonpd.org. Join our team and score a great career. From our commissioned officers to our professional staff, the Tucson Police Department proudly stands behind the Arizona Wildcats. Bear down and apply today at jointucsonpd.org.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Today is one of those days. Some days you win, some days you lose, some days it rains. And it's raining in Cleveland. Apparently it's doing a whole lot more than raining around Northeast Ohio. I've heard reports from some of my folks back home that there's tornadoes happening there in Northeast Ohio today. Currently, no tornadoes happening here in southern Arizona, although there was rumors that might be the case here today, too. So,
what
not
happened
yet.
was some kid writes a blog, and he said that there's going to be a tornado in Marina. And then a lot of people ran with that.
No shock there that people ran with something that they saw on social media.
That's
right?
how the internet works these days, yeah.
It does indeed. We'll keep you posted on what's happening in Cleveland, but right now the Guardians and the Diamondbacks are still in a rain delay, of which has now reached 1 hour plus. Getting back to what's happening in Paris, it has rained a little bit there as well, but it did not rain on the pitch today for the United States women's national team.
Or now the fresh legs of number 14 right there in Sens.
Smith on the burst. And Smith might get there! Smith does get there! And Germany have been speared by the Trident. What is it about this US team? As in the quarterfinal, they will always find a way.
Just needing one player to step up. It's Mal Swanson playing this beautiful ball through. Gets on the other side of Rao. On the other shoulder. No chance for Berger. And perfectly paced for Smith to hit that first time. Berger all the way off her line. Caught. She never sets. And there it is, the breakthrough finally for the United States.
So the United States women's national team wins again. They are on to the gold medal match. It seems like every time there's a girl on this team named Mallory, we always shorten it down to Mal. Is that a soccer thing? It was Mallory Pugh a few years ago. They called her Mal Pugh, and now you've got Mallory Swanson. They call her Mal Swanson.
I know Mallory's a very famous last name in Great Britain. So maybe that's like a British thing because it's so synonymous with soccer that maybe that's the connotation, but I don't know.
United States women's national team has won a medal in every Olympic tournament since they began having Olympic tournaments in 1996 in Atlanta. 4 golds. The U.S. won the silver in 2000. They, however, won just the bronze in 2020 when they lost to Sweden. They lost to Sweden in 2016 penalty kicks. So they have an opportunity to get back on the medal stand in the gold or silver category as they will advance to the final with the United States. So good job. Trinity Rodman is a huge player on this team. So they've got still got some star power, some names that you'll recognize. Listen, they're obviously still playing in the goalie, but it's a new young group of American women, and they are trying to now make their name to begin with a tournament like this, and hopefully continue that on in years to come in the World Cup circuit. So we'll see how that all plays out as they continue down that road. Also, a pretty impressive thing happened on the wrestling mat today.
Individual event, all of the accolades. The time has come for Olympic history. Mijan Lopez of Cuba ready to chase after Olympic gold again. 4 consecutive Olympic gold medals for the 41-year-old legend from Cuba, trying to become the first person in any sport to win the same Olympic event 5 times. He'd be the first wrestler to win 5 Olympic golds. He'd also become the oldest Olympic wrestling champion ever. First passivity point awarded to the Cuban, so he'll get the point and position. Again, if there's not enough action, Jordan, the officials will instigate it here by allowing one wrestler the opportunity to choose position, in this case, go down to parterre on the ground wrestling.
Yep, and watch Mijan does the same thing every time. He buries left and goes left. Buries head left side, goes left side. Every time, it's unstoppable.
Got the lock, looking for more.
Let's see if he tries again. He's also looks like he's content with just getting a single turn. I haven't really seen him work too hard after that first turn. He's like 3-0. No one can come out of this deficit against me.
Lopez coming in with all the questions about his age. Can he still do it in his early? He said coming in, the fatigue is there. The body aches are there. So the mind has to be strong. The motivation has to be stronger. I am going to do it. And Jordan, he's going to do it.
He's going to do it. He's going to do it. Look at the crowd getting excited. They know what's at stake here. They know the history that's been made. Watch everyone in the background rise to their feet. What a special occasion and a treat for all wrestling fans around the world.
Mian Lopez, 41 years old, wins the gold medal at 130 kilograms. I have no idea off the top of my head how many pounds that is, but
he's a big guy.
We're dealing in kilograms here in this Olympics. Unbeaten since the 2008 Olympics in Beijing.
286 Americans. That's pounds.
Yeah, okay.
286.
Would that be heavyweight then?
A big dude. He's a
class?
really big dude.
Yeah.
Interesting because the guy who's wrestling against actually is also from Cuba, and they were wrestling partners for like 10 years, DK. And then he is no longer in Cuba. So now he wrestles for another country because he got out of there. But that was his old wrestling partner. But 5 consecutive golds.
He is the first to ever do that in one Olympic event.
Yep.
5 consecutive goals for an individual in the same event. Wilfried Dietrich of Germany has won 5 Olympic gold medals in wrestling, but he did so over different weight classes.
Yeah, up and down, yeah.
Yeah, so, but Mian Lopez, great to see that for him.
Michael Phelps has 24, is it? 23 or 24
Right.
golds, but not all in the same event, no.
That was Greco-Roman. They've got the freestyle, which begins a little bit later in the week, and that is the realm of wrestling that will feature Tucson's own Roman Bravo Young out of Sunnyside High School. Roman is scheduled to wrestle in the 57 kilograms. So I imagine that's probably like 100 and 20, 30. I think he's like 130, 40 pounds, somewhere in that neighborhood. So he'll wrestle Thursday morning in the preliminaries. If he makes it through the preliminaries, the semifinals for his weight class will also be on Thursday. And then if he gets out of semis and gets to the finals, then Roman will wrestle again on Friday. So we'll be keeping an eye on that as we get into Thursday and Friday. Roman Bravo Young wrestling for his native country of Mexico. Again, I'm not positive. We'll have to double check, but I believe he is born, another one of the athletes we were talking about earlier, he's born in the United States, but has dual citizenship. So he has the ability to wrestle for either the United States or Mexico, and he is wrestling for the nation of Mexico in these Olympics. So Roman Bravo Young on the mat beginning on Thursday morning. You'll have to get up really early to watch that because he'll be wrestling at 5:30, actually 2:30 in the morning, our time, on Thursday morning. So coming up here pretty quick for
Kilogram is basically half. I mean, it's not. It's a little less than that, but yeah, that's a good rule of thumb.
So about 135 pounds.
It's 1 to 2.2 is the ratio.
Okay, there you go. And we mentioned the United States men's basketball team won big. There was some history there as well.
Good back cut. Here we go.
Durant, the new all-time leading scorer in men's and women's U.S. Olympic basketball history. Back to Durant. Does he have more to add to the tally?
Oh, yes, he do.
Yes, indeed.
Kevin Durant setting records, trying to win a 5th gold medal for the United States in basketball. So I guess no surprise that he is now the all-time leading scorer, not only for the men, passing Carmelo Anthony, but for the women as well.
Yeah, I think he passed Carmelo last Olympics. He just passed Lisa Leslie today. He also, DK, last game out, before this one, passed for the most rebounds in U.S. history as well. So, yeah, he is all over the record books. Speaks to the longevity and just how he's always up for representing his country come this time of year.
So the United States advances with their 122-87 win over Brazil. 6 players in double figures for the United States today, led by your very own Devin Booker, who knocked down 5 3-pointers and had 18 points in 15 minutes. 14 for Joel Embiid, 12 for LeBron James, 11 for Kevin Durant, 13 for Anthony Davis, 17 for Anthony Edwards as the United States knocked down 15 of 31 from behind
Just
the
for the
arc in this
record,
ball game.
those numbers for Booker, that was in 2 quarters. He played in 2 quarters today.
Yeah, there you go. Anybody didn't play today? That seems to be the news of this tournament.
No, I think
he got
maybe
everybody
Halliburton
in.
didn't get in. I
Halliburton
don't know.
got in 8 minutes. Yeah, 8 minutes for Halliburton. That was the lowest. So it looks like everybody got in and got at least, he was the only one that didn't get double-digit minutes. So good job, Steve Kerr. DK on the Sports Tip, we've got coming up for you still. Brian Peterson is going to join us. We'll find out if Brian Peterson is any relation to Joc Pederson. I don't think so. We'll also hear from Brent Brennan, who was a guest today on the Jim Rome Show. DK on the Sports Tip, JW Madden is with me, Cricket as well. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. So we've got reported collision, St. Mary's west of Grande, some slowing there. Alvernon and 29th Street. Orange Grove and La Cañada, Irvington and 12th Avenue, 1st Avenue and Grant, and also clearing La Cholla and Lambert Lane, Apper Valley Road and Trico Road. That was an earlier overturned vehicle. And there is a thunderstorm warning in effect. It's about 99 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Bank of America. Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America, N.A. Copyright 2024.
Westwood One Sports presents this special update on the 2024 Summer Games. Another good day at track and field for Team USA, including an unexpected result. Our Steve Futterman has the story.
The men's 1500 turns out to be a shocker. Cole Hawker, who I don't think many people predicted for gold, takes the gold for the U.S. His time more than 3 seconds faster than he's ever won. Yared Nuguse, also from the U.S., he comes in third. He gets the bronze.
Hawker finished ahead of the world champion Josh Kerr of Great Britain. Norway's Jakob Ingebrigtsen, the reigning gold medalist, finished fourth. Gabby Thomas of the U.S. took home gold in the women's 200 meters. Her teammate Brittany Brown finished third for the bronze. And American Annette Echikawoke won silver in the women's hammer throw. U.S. men's basketball team advanced to the semifinals with a dominant 122-87 win over Brazil. Women's soccer team on to the gold medal match. They beat Germany 1-0. With this Summer Games update, I'm Ryan Radke, Westwood One Sports.
Traveling, volunteering, spending time with family. What's your retirement look like? With income planning from Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor can help you grow and protect your wealth. They'll look at your full financial picture and help you create a flexible strategy that considers things like market conditions and healthcare expenses, so you can stop worrying about the future and enjoy whatever comes next. Visit fidelity.com/income planning. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, member NYSE, SIPC.
At Lowe's, save big every day. Right now, get a free pneumatic nailer when you buy a pallet of Metabo HPT nails. Plus, save an extra 5% every day on eligible purchases when you use your Lowe's business credit card. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. 5% offer subject to credit approval. Exclusions and terms apply. See store at lowes.com/credit for details.
Sean Furrier here for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care with an instant savings offer just for radio listeners. So if you need tires, right now is the time to save big on every tire brand and over 25,000 tires. You'll save big with manufacturer's rebates, and radio listeners unlock up to $200 savings on tires when you visit jackfurriers.com/radio. Huge savings on tires just for radio listeners. But you've got to visit jackfurriers.com/radio to unlock this special offer, which saves you more. Who thought you could get paid for listening to the radio? Jack Furrier has tires for your car, truck, 4x4, CUV, SUV, EV, hybrid, trailer, RV, even your wheelbarrow. All 14 of Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's award-winning locations are standing by and ready to help with the very best prices on affordable tires and no hidden extras. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there. But make sure to get your extra instant savings at jackfurriers.com/radio.
Tucson, remember, the home of the Wildcats is 1290, with Brian Jeffries calling all the play-by-play action of Arizona football, men's basketball, and baseball. The one and only home of Arizona athletics is 1290. Wildcats Radio 1290.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
It's so hot and sticky. I can't stand this humidity. I'm melting.
Melting!
So you can either check for hot flashes and duck or call Pixrock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
It's not hot flashes.
We're calling Pixrock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing right now at 520-492-0748.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
When you have sports mixed with your pop culture, along with humor and celebrity interviews, your earbuds are enjoying The Rich Eisen Show.
Good to see you, Bruce Feldman, the Big 12 landscape. I just know how Dion is, where he's coming from. His wins are measured differently. The question is, as you said, it's got to go from 4 to 8.
I think they can do that. It would be hard not to get better considering how bad they were on the offensive line last year. Now, their schedule actually feels harder this year than it was last year.
Search for The Rich Eisen Show on YouTube or wherever you listen.
Cumulus Media Station, the one and only home of Arizona basketball. Pre- and post-game coverage, play-by-play, and live press conferences. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson, duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket, getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
All right, it's starting to get crazy out there in terms of the weather. So be careful wherever you are. There is, I'm looking at my radar right now. There's a lot of purple out there, which is never a good thing. Most of the purple, though, is to the north and west of the freeway. Looks like this is kind of Pima College area, up in that area right there. West Speedway, West Anklam Road, getting hit really hard right now by some storms on the west side, heading out into Saguaro National Park, Tucson Mountain area there, all that to the west. And it looks like if you're heading down maybe towards the casino as well, out near Ryan Field, out there in Robles Junction, Corner Windmill getting hit hard right now by storms. So keep us up to date if there's anything happening in your area, 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290. Also looks like there's a lot of storms to our south. Some looks like a real big storm right now down near Santa Rita Experimental Range, which is just off of I-19 and the Duval Mine Road area there. So lots of stuff happening out there in southern Arizona right now in terms of the weather. We'll keep you up to date as best as we can. Also, hearing just from folks back home in Cleveland, a lot of bad weather there. Tornado in suburban Parma was spotted there. Does not appear to be any dangerous weather in the downtown area, but obviously they have not started tonight's baseball game yet between the Guardians and the Diamondbacks, and I've not seen anything that indicates when that game might get started in Cleveland. So we'll keep you up to breast on that as well. Other big news today on the non-sports side. If you had Captain Mark Kelly on your Desert Diamond Casino Sportsbook board as being a candidate for vice president, you just lost money because that is not going to happen. Tim Walz out of the Minnesota, the governor of Minnesota, the choice by Vice President Kamala Harris to be her running mate on the Democratic side of the presidential ticket. Captain Mark Kelly did put out a statement or a tweet earlier after this was announced. He said, Vice President Kamala Harris and Governor Tim Walz are going to move us forward. They're already building a campaign to unite our country, and Gabby Giffords and I are ready to do everything we can to help them win. So no Mark Kelly for vice president. I would have liked to have seen somebody from Arizona. Has there ever? I mean, obviously, you go back to the 70s and 80s. There were some, Arizonans, Arizona politicians who, had a chance up on higher tickets in terms of the presidential race, but not recently have we had any in that realm. So it would have been nice to see somebody from our state have a chance to play on that stage for sure. And everybody likes astronauts, right? Mark Kelly is an astronaut.
Just John McCain is obviously
cousin Mark.
Yeah. I think you and I are on the same page. somebody who's not 80 would be.
Right.
I mean, just in general, I think
Exactly.
across. Here's the thing: I'm a Gen X, right? So, there's never been a Gen X president. So that time is coming at some point.
At some point.
Yeah, at
it'll
some
be
point.
somebody our age, right?
But neither of these two candidates are Gen X, so not this one. One day, my peer group will be represented.
In making the decision to choose Governor Tim Walz as her running mate, Kamala Harris said Tim is battle-tested, a battle-tested leader who has incredible track record of getting things done for Minnesota families. I know that he will bring that same principled leadership to our campaign and to the office of vice president. So that is your news item for the day. Let's fill you in on some things that are happening up north of here on the football field with your Arizona Cardinals.
Arizona Cardinals football. The most complete coverage of your Bird Gang is right here on Wildcats Radio 1290.
And we mentioned to you yesterday, huge injury news. B.J. Ujulari, the second-round pick from last season, taken out of LSU, out for the season with an injury suffered on Friday during practice. They had the red-white game on Saturday. Let's hear from the head coach, Jonathan Gannon, on that loss for the Cardinals.
I'm sure you guys saw it. Quick update, BJ is going to miss the year with a knee. He'll have to have surgery. Obviously, feel bad for him, for the team. He did a lot of work this offseason, was going to be a big part of what we do, but he'll come back stronger, ready to go, better than ever next year.
Is that an ACL, Jonathan?
It's a knee.
How do you guys replace what you were hoping to get?
We'll figure it out. You got to figure it out. That's our job. You know what I mean? So we'll always do what's best for the team, and some guys will step up, and we got to figure it out.
What do you say to the room just after an injury like that?
Well, you don't have to say much to NFL football players. They know it's kind of the known unknown, and obviously they feel bad for their teammate. And, a lot of those guys have been through it, so he'll lean on some of those guys. But, it's a what part of the business, that I can't say, but we know it happens, you know what I mean? So, but they got to, pick up their head. The sun's out now, and we got to go to work.
Do you envision giving some more looks now to guys who are going to be on the inside of the line, on the outside?
Yeah, we'll see. That's what I mean by figuring it out.
But is that, obviously you're going to be looking down the depth chart too.
Yeah, all things are on the table. We got plenty of guys on the defense that need to step up and play.
JG, was it determined whether it was a non-contact injury? Is that?
Yeah, I think he was bent in the corner, you know what I mean? Kind of just a normal football move for an edge guy, you know what I mean? And kind of planted and,
Yeah, so that's your head coach, Jonathan Gannon. Tough situation there, but a move has been made in terms of trying to shore up the depth for the Arizona Cardinals at that position. Today they announced they've signed Marquise Haynes to go along with the placing of B.J. Ujulari on the injured reserve. Haynes spent the first 6 years of his NFL career with the Carolina Panthers after being drafted in the fourth round of the 2018 draft. He missed the first 9 regular season games last year due to a back injury and was ruled out for the season finale of the 2023 season in Week 17 due to a concussion. Haynes' most productive campaign was 2022 when he had 29 tackles, 5 sacks, along with 4 passes defended across 17 regular season games. So that's the move to at least provide some more depth in that room for the Arizona Cardinals as they continue to move forward. Preseason game number 1 will be at home this Saturday night against the New Orleans Saints. This will be the only home preseason game for your Arizona Cardinals, as, again, they only play 3 preseason games now in the National Football League, unless, of course, you're involved in the Hall of Fame game, and then you'll play 4. But the Cardinals will play at home against New Orleans this Saturday night. That's an 8 o'clock kickoff. And then the next 2 weekends, they'll be on the road at Indianapolis the following Saturday, the 17th, and then at Denver against the Broncos. That'll be a Sunday game on August the 25th. That game will be nationally televised on CBS, and then the season will open on the road for the Cardinals in Buffalo on Sunday, September the 8th. The home opener will be the following Sunday, the 15th, at home against the Rams.
The whole like non-contact injury in the NFL is the worst.
Yeah.
I mean, guys like Bo Jackson come to mind because it's such a physical game, DK. These guys put up, they take a beating every single day, not just Sundays. And yet, when you lose a player for a season or for their career or whatever, from a non-contact injury, it's just the worst. Unless you're a kicker who like spills fondue on yourself or some garbage. But yeah, the non-contact injuries for skill position players is the worst.
Speaking of kickers, Harrison Butker got a nice fat contract, the highest paid kicker of all time in the game of professional football. He got a 4-year extension yesterday. Did the kicker for the Chiefs, who was much ballyhooed over the offseason for some statements he made at a college graduation. But Butker's $25.6 million extension reportedly includes $17.75 million guaranteed at $6.4 million a season. He's the highest paid at his position on a per-year basis, and that tops Baltimore Ravens kicker Justin Tucker, who makes $6 million
Do you know
per
why?
season.
It's not because he's the best kicker in the NFL.
It's because
the Chiefs only averaged 21 points a game last year, DK.
Yeah.
21 points a game. I mean, that was such a high-powered offense 4 years ago, but it's really, they've relied on their defense so much more. So those points are so valuable. When you got a quarterback like that can drive you the length of the field, DK, you better make that kick.
Better make it. And he's pretty good at making it. In 107 career games, he has connected on 89% of his field goal attempts, 95% of his points after touchdowns. Harrison Butker, whether you like his statements or not, does not miss very many kicks. He is very good at what he does in terms of the football side of it. We are joined back again by Cricket. Cricket, what's it looking like out there? We heard that the storm might be starting to come in. Does it look like anything's swirling there right now?
I don't see anything.
Okay.
I'm using my, my meteorology education that I don't have.
Do you have more meteorology education to this? I guess to this young man who's the blogger who said there was going to be a tornado statement is what I think I saw. Somebody sent me that last night, and I'm thinking to myself, what in the world is a tornado statement? I've never even heard of a tornado statement before.
You should read the whole paragraph out of the blog because it's just a bunch of nonsense words like that, like a bunch
like those
of it.
Like fear-mongering catchwords.
Right,
yeah.
Exactly. It's close enough. I think they found out he was 18 or 19 years old, something like that. So, yeah, and everybody decided to run with that because a tornado in Tucson, Cricket, I mean, we've heard of touchdowns. I think there's something like 100 recorded per year or some garbage in the area, but it's not like you would expect if you see some, storm chasing truck riding after some giant behemoth.
Have you ever wanted to do that? I've always wanted to do that.
Yeah, I mean,
go on a storm chase.
Maybe if I had the right vehicle and all that good stuff,
It's like bungee jumping or skydiving, like the idea of
except
getting
that you're on the ground.
Exactly.
Except that you're on the ground.
No, but what I'm saying
unless the tornado gets you and then you're not on the ground.
But that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the idea of moving yourself as close as possible to imminent death.
To danger.
So that you can see it,
right.
but
that's
not
exciting.
experience. Exactly. It's very exciting.
I've always wanted to do. I used to watch those shows. I loved those. I've always been a big tornado fan. So I used to watch a lot of those storm chasing shows where the guys would go around and all of that. I've always said that's kind of one of the things that's on my bucket list, but I don't know that my wife would ever let me go do that because it is very dangerous. Very dangerous.
It's a lot of driving.
Is there anything really dangerous that you've ever wanted to do but said, or kind of thought you might want to do?
I'm really fascinated with sharks.
Ooh,
but
okay.
I'm fascinated with them, but they terrify me. But maybe shark dive. I don't know.
Like the cage where it's like the big shark swimming around you that you could reach out and touch, but they can't get at you.
Some of those people are so comfortable with sharks, they'll just like put their hand out and touch they're not even in a cage.
Well, they've learned a lot thanks to Shark Week.
Like
they've learned a lot about how sharks behave and that little touch on the top of the nose.
Like really just kind of
yeah.
They're just like, I'm out.
Exactly.
I want to pet a shark That is my
Pet
dangerous
a shark.
Yeah,
Okay.
don't. It's like sandpaper.
Just like
like
that too. I just want
Their
to.
skin,
Sandpaper.
yeah, their
boop
skin
it.
is like sandpaper. Look it up.
I want to boop them on the little snout
All right. She wants to boop a shark on the snout. There you go.
gently, like very with love.
All right.
What about you? Scary bucket list, but storm chasing.
Storm chasing. That would be
J-Dub?
it. Yeah. J-Dub.
Do you have a?
I'll have to think about it,
Oh,
honestly.
okay.
I do not have any like death-defying. I need to go out and
Well, we're here
swim in
tomorrow
the
and
Bermuda
Thursday,
Triangle
so
or something
we'll
like
come
that. I
back
do
to
not
that
have
tomorrow. We'll come back that tomorrow. All right, Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
And from the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Collisions that are reported at Broadway and Wilmot, Dove Mountain north of Moore Road, First Avenue and Grant, 29th and Alvernon clearing. Pretty bad crash occurred on St. Mary's west of Grande, and travel is blocked St. Mary's west of Grande. Ajo Way westbound down to one lane, Mission back to I-19, and heavy backups there. Severe thunderstorm warning for central Pima County until 5:30. Potential for gusty winds, rain, and hail. 95 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. eBay Motors is here for the ride with the parts you need at the prices you want. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they're guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports, sponsored by Allstate. Simone Biles wrapped up her successful Olympic return on Monday with a silver medal in the floor exercise final. Brazil's Rebecca Andrade narrowly took home the gold. This could have been the final Summer Games for the 27-year-old Biles, and she leaves them as the most decorated American gymnast of all time. She has 11 career Olympic medals, with 7 of those shining gold. After having to withdraw during the Tokyo Games in 2021, Biles dominated in her Olympic comeback, winning 3 of those gold medals in Paris.
It means the world that I could come back out here and compete on an international stage again, representing my country. I couldn't have asked for a better Olympic Games, better support system, better teammates. So yeah, thank you, Paris.
We'd also like to salute Biles' American teammate Jordan Childs, who won the bronze in the floor exercise final. With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Olivia Harlan-Decker on Westwood One.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
What's wrong? My travel rewards card didn't earn enough miles for my vacation.
Are you crying? Are you crying because of that other credit card?
Uh-huh.
Well, switch to the Capital One Venture card. Venture lets you redeem miles on any travel purchase.
Really?
Yep, and you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every single day. The Capital One Venture card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Hey, Tucson, tune in each weekday from noon to 3 p.m. for The Rich Eisen Show, right here on the flagship home of Arizona Wildcats Athletics.
Walk-off win in the bottom of the 9th inning. Does it get sweeter than that?
Wildcats Radio, 1290.
All right, she's inside. Are you good?
Yeah. It's just, she's my baby girl, you know?
I do, and ceramic coating was a good choice.
She's beautiful.
Yep, I know.
Recon Auto Detailing. Enhance or restore your baby to her former glory with paint recondition, ceramic coating, paint protection, tinting, and more for full protection of your vehicle inside and out. New cars, old cars, we love them all. Recon Auto Detailing, 3829 North Oracle Road, Tucson. ReconDetail.com.
Hi, you know me, Scott Lehman from ScottSaysYes.com. Check out this month's Wildcats Radio 1290 Community Calendar powered by Premier Auto Center.
Visit the Wildcats Radio 1290 Community Calendar at wildcatsradio1290.com to find out what community events are coming up in the Tucson area. You can also find Wildcats Radio 1290 events, upcoming sporting events, and more. Get the details and get involved with our community at wildcatsradio1290.com.
Go to ScottSaysYes.com today.
Wildcats fans from coast to coast can bring a little bit of Tucson to themselves wherever they happen to be by streaming 1290 on our website at wildcatsradio1290.com. The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Tucson area attorneys. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only. CordellCordell.com.
Once upon a time, our family had trouble with pests around our home. Did you know that stinging insects send tons of people to the hospital? And teeny ticks and mosquitoes can be all around the yard. Their bites can make people and their pets sick. Mice, rats, and roaches need food and water just like us. You do not want them to visit. They can spread disease and make it hard to breathe. I'm sure glad this story has a happy ending.
Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290. It's the 5 o'clock hour, and it's time for our Arizona Insiders.
Am I late? No, my boy, you're just in time.
Each weekday, Wildcats Radio 1290 brings you all the latest news and opinions on U of A football. So bear down, Tucson, and let's talk Arizona football. Our Arizona Insiders are brought to you by Coors Light, official corporate sponsors of Arizona Athletics. There's nothing like game day in Arizona.
No practice today for Arizona football, the second off day of fall camp. We are now a weekend with things having begun last Wednesday. The boys will be back on the field tomorrow morning. Pleased to be joined by the writer, the main writer. I guess we can call him a senior writer. That seems to be the appropriate term for people that have written for a long time for publications, and he has done so for AZ Desert Swarm. His name is Brian Pederson, and Brian, the people want to know, because the Diamondbacks are so hot, are you any relation to Joc Pederson?
No, because he spells it wrong.
Oh, he spells
Otherwise,
it with an O.
I would accept him.
He spells it with an O instead of an E.
Correct.
There you go.
Otherwise, he's an adjacent brother.
or I like to say, he's a cousin from another aunt, as I like to put it.
That's a good one.
There you go. There you go. All right, so one weekend with fall camp for the Arizona Wildcats football team, Brian, and already we've got a mashup on the offensive line. It started on day one when we got to practice, and the left side didn't look anything like what we thought it was going to look like, and now Leif Magnuson has been missing for the last 3 days, and all of a sudden we thought we had something that we could kind of pin our hats on as being solid for Arizona, but that's football. It seems to happen that way a lot of years, where you think you have one thing and all of a sudden it's something completely different.
Absolutely, and this is why they keep recruiting and they keep bringing in guys. They added a couple offensive linemen after spring ball. So there's 15, 16 of them on there. And you always want to have that depth. And this is a reason why you would do that. No Robert Polito for this season. Wendell Moe hasn't been a full participant in practice. Leif Magnuson's missed some time. So this is a chance for all of these guys who they brought in or have been on the roster and haven't gotten an opportunity to show what they can do. Now, I mean, if these other people come back and are able to take over their spots, that's great. But if not, you at least have an idea of what you have to work with before you get into a game and suddenly someone's hurt and you're like, oh, wait, who's going to play this position?
So do you have any, in terms of some of these guys that we just really don't know a whole lot about? Obviously, Michael Wooten has come over, looks the part. Big guy out of Oregon. We've seen him kind of getting some reps on the left side at that tackle position with the twos primarily. Grayson Stovall was a ballyhooed recruit of the Jedd Fisch era, who's starting to work his way into the mix at backup center and some other positions. Obviously, Rhino Tapa Ototai, if we can say that name correctly, is a guy that's been getting a lot of the starting reps at left tackle. And then, we've seen some other guys like Ryan Stewart in the mix with this offensive line. And the other transfer from New Mexico, Shanko Matatatia, Issei, as they like to call him. So, do you have any indication from what you know, like who you believe might come out of that group as somebody that the Wildcats can depend on?
Well, there's another guy in there that needs to be mentioned. That's Alexander Doost from Northwestern, who was around in spring and has been widely considered one of the strongest guys on the team. He has been holding down Moe's spot at left guard. And if Magnuson is not going to be available for whatever reason, then that bodes well for if and when Moe comes back, that presumably Deuce could handle the right guard as well. But I think at this point, because they want to make sure that all of them know the offense and know the install and everything, it's still too far out to determine who's going to take over for who if they're not available. They want to basically have a problem at the end of camp of who do we not use rather than who do we have to use.
Chatting with Brian Pederson from AZ Desert Swarm, Arizona football. In terms of the number 2 quarterback, Brian, it's very interesting. You know, in the past, I think we've had a lot of quarterbacks who were very different. I don't know that that's necessarily the case with these guys. I think they're all kind of the same type of quarterback in that, we're not in a situation where we have, like, say, Khalil Tate who preferred to run versus pass, and then you had other quarterbacks who were drop back. I think all of these guys can throw the ball from the pocket. Obviously, the big difference is you've got a smaller quarterback in your starter, Noah Fifita, and probably the two guys that are really battling to be his backup in Cole Tannenbaum and Brandon Dorman bring a little bit more height to the party. How do you think that maybe changes things with those two guys at the number 2 position?
I mean, as long as they are able to run the offense and still be able to see things, maybe by being taller, that they're not going to have as much trouble as someone like Fifita as far as being able to see over the line. That hasn't been a problem for him. He's been able to deal with that despite the fact that these guys are much bigger than him in front of him. So maybe that allows a Tannenbaum and a Dorman to have a little bit of a shorter learning curve because they don't have to be worried about all that traffic to be able to see the field and read their progressions and all that. It's been a nice battle between the two of them. I would assume that Dorman would win out over time just because go with scholarship over walk-on. But the fact that Tannenbaum has been around here for a little while and has shown that he can fill in as well as possible. Plus you have Garcia and DeMonte as a couple transfers. It's nice to have all those options, whereas maybe in the past it's been once you get past that first backup, it's like, what are we going to do? Again, a good problem to have.
I got to believe Cole Tannenbaum is one of those guys that gets a scholarship at some point here in the near future. Wouldn't you think?
Yes, especially with the expectation to go up to the 105 scholarships with all these pending court rulings and settlements with the NCAA. I don't know if Arizona would go to all 105 fully funded, but with the ability to go over 85, that's certainly, I think they would be looking to guys who've been in the program for a couple years to reward them for that service. I think I would consider it a slap in the face if suddenly there were 20 more scholarships available and they were only going to new players and not to me, who's been working hard for 2-3 years.
Brian Pederson joining us from AZ Desert Swarm. Brian, you mentioned the new scholarship limits that came out while we were out on vacation, so we haven't had a chance to really dive too much into it, but I think obviously the big thing in terms of that is now baseball is going to be able to fully fund their entire, or at least their fully scholarship if they so choose to do so, as you mentioned, fully scholarship pretty much the entire roster. Is that a good thing or a bad thing for baseball teams now in college?
I mean, it's great for the players because it's going to mean that they don't have to worry about being a considerable player on a team while also making sure that they are funding playing for school. Yeah, current right now, baseball gets 11.7 scholarships that can be divvied up as low as a quarter each to a roster of 40 people right now. And so you have almost nobody's on a full ride, and you have maybe close to half the team getting no assistance. Now you'd have the ability to, the roster would be capped at 34, so you'd lose a couple spots. but you could potentially fund all of them full rides. I don't think Arizona will be able to do that, at least not at the beginning. Probably be somewhere in the 20s would be my guess to start, but that's still a significant upgrade going from 11.7, almost doubling the number that you do. Where that is going to help in one way is making sure that players that you have signed in this November who are getting drafted next June or July have that leverage of knowing, well, my school is completely paid for 3 years, and then I could go back and get drafted again rather than having to sign straight out of high school.
And how did the Wildcats do in terms of this year's draft class in guys that chose to sign and guys that didn't and are going to come to school?
Well, there were 4 pitchers off the roster who got drafted, and they've all signed. But all of the high school kids and junior college kids that Arizona has signed, there were the one that got drafted was a pitcher out of Phoenix named Mason Russell. And though he was one of the top 100 prospects on a lot of lists, he went in the 20th round, which was an indication that he had told teams that he had a very high signing number and you shouldn't draft me unless you're willing to pay that amount. And the Cincinnati Reds, who took him in the 20th round, weren't able to. So he is here. He's going to be part of the team, and he should be a big part of the 2025 squad. This will be the first time under Chip Hale that Arizona has brought their entire recruiting class in and didn't lose anybody to the draft, which is a big boost, especially when you consider the amount of returning talent that they have from the 2024 team.
Brian Pederson from AZ Desert Swarm joining us. Brian, you guys we didn't get a chance to get over there when Trey Townsend spoke a few weeks ago. One of the newest members of Tommy Lloyd's basketball team. What were your initial impressions of him?
He just seems like he's a kid who's glad that he's got this one last extra opportunity to be able to do something more than what he's already accomplished. It's a great story. His dad played at Oakland University, and his mom was an athlete there as well. And he was a walk-on 5 years ago that more or less was like a favor because the coach, Greg Hampe, and his dad had remained close. It's like, hey, we'll give you an opportunity to do that. Then he ends up being one of the highest scorers in school history, is put on scholarship over time. But he had told the coaches there before this past season, hey, I've got one more year left, and I'd like to see if I could try to play at a bigger level. So I'm giving you the heads up now that I'm going to do that after this year. So there was no bad blood, especially considering that Oakland went on that magical run to get to the second round of the NCAA tournament and upset Kentucky, and suddenly people knew about them. If this hadn't already been agreed upon, it would look like Townsend is just kind of jumping at the first opportunity because now suddenly he's gotten attention. But this was something he worked on for a while. And he should be a great fit in Arizona's offense because of his ability, that he's not somebody that's just settling for shots. He is very aggressive. He takes almost all of his shots from inside the three-point line, but he wants to be somebody who can do more, almost like a Keshad Johnson who expanded his game by showing the three-point shot, and that is certainly paid off for him with what he was able to do during the Summer League.
Brian Pederson and his crew, they've got you covered at azdesertswarm.com. Brian, Ezra, Kim Doss, and we got a new young man that's been following you around named Juan. You're breaking him in, and I'm sure he'll be doing great things over there as well. How's the poker game going?
Well, we're in a little bit of a break here. The World Series was June and July. Going to play in the Arizona State Championship here in a couple weeks up in Scottsdale. But otherwise, I mean, now that we get into the school year and football and everything like that, that stuff kind of takes the back burner. I can play it when I want, when there's an opportunity, maybe play at a friend's house. But it's usually more my summer vacation is when I do my poker.
There you go. All right. Well, Brian, we always appreciate talking to you.
Thank you for having me.
Brian Pederson, AZ Desert Swarm.
Thanks to Coors Light for bringing you today's Arizona Insiders on Wildcats Radio 1290. Coors Light, official corporate sponsors of Arizona Athletics. There's nothing like game day in Arizona.
Brent Brennan talked to Jim Rome today. You'll hear that next. Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Collisions that are clearing Broadway and Wilmot, Dove Mountain north of Moore Road, 1st Avenue in Grant, 29th Street in Alvernon, and also bad collision occurred St. Mary's west of Grande. Heavy backups westbound Ajo backed up Mission to I-19. There's a thunderstorm warning in effect, potential for gusty winds, rain, and hail. 95 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The street is home to new ideas, surprising innovations, and new ways of understanding food. It's what inspired Taco Bell to create the new cheesy street chalupas with grilled steak, fresh onions, and cilantro. Try them today at participating U.S. Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last.
This is Zach Gelb with the Sports Minute. Brandon Ayuk reportedly was offered a contract by the 49ers that would pay him roughly $26 million a year. Ayuk wants more money, though, and according to Matt Maiocco, the 49ers have the framework of a trade done with the Patriots and Browns. Many fans have since asked why would Ayuk leave a Super Bowl contending team for New England or Cleveland, and it shows that fans view winning as the most important thing, while most players view money as priority number one, and I have zero problem with that. I'm Zach Gelb.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this. If something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
It's so hot and sticky. I can't stand this humidity. I'm melting.
So you can either check for hot flashes and duct or call Pixrock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
It's not hot flashes.
We're calling Pixrock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing right now at 520-492-0748.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Frog and Firkin, a standout among the bars and restaurants in the University area. Frog and Firkin does what very few pubs can, combine a festive atmosphere and great beer with a menu that could stand on its own in any restaurant setting. A sports enthusiast dream with over 30 TVs, 30 beers on tap, and over 100 import and domestic bottles. Daily drink and food specials, and the kitchen is serving until 10. A standout in the University area. Frog and Firkin. Eat local, support local. frogandfirkin.com.
Your home for in-depth conversation.
Nothing they do is by surprise. They telegraph what they want to do, and then they brag about it afterwards. It's a way to keep us at each other's throats.
The most pressing issues.
This was just a white on black crime, and you can already see the narrative starting to form in real time.
And fresh perspective.
The air marshals will not be on the airplanes because they're down at the border escorting illegal aliens to their Ubers.
America's most loved truth tellers live on Tucson's home for conservative talk. This is Freedom 1400.
Arizona's oldest brewery, Barrio Brewing Company, has been brewing for Arizona for 33 years and offers legendary locally brewed beer, along with great food, all in a wonderful and distinctive industrial atmosphere. Barrio is family-friendly, which includes a dog-friendly patio. They're located just outside of downtown Tucson at 800 East 16th Street. Enjoy popular local brewed beers like Barrio Blonde, Hipster Hazy IPA, and Barrio Rojo, along with seasonal favorites Peach Ale and Senor Sour. Try the Carny Fries on Barrio's new happy hour menu, Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. Food and beer available for dine-in or to-go. Event space rental is also available. Check out their entire beer and food menu, along with a great selection of cool merchandise online at barriobrewing.com. The friendly employee owners of Barrio Brewing Company look forward to seeing you soon.
And this Friday, we've got a sweet deal for you from Barrio Brewing Company. You can get a $50 gift certificate for just $25. And this sweet deal will go on sale this Friday morning at 8:30 at WildcatsRadio1290.com.
DJ on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
Does Urbano's decision to play for the Indiana Hoosiers change your feeling about his legacy as an Arizona Wildcats player?
Umar Balo was about as Wildcat as it gets. Look at the smile on his face when he talks about what the McHale crowd means to him. That's real. How do you be a fan, David? That's the conversation we're having. You want to open that Pandora's box. And what does it mean to be a fan, and how do you fan? Well, that's really up to you.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
The more time that passes, the more important it is to remind our nation about the heartbreak and heroism of September 11th, 2001. Join your neighbors this September 11th at the Tucson Convention Center to climb the same number of steps as the World Trade Center towers, or as many as you can, to memorialize the brave first responders who ran toward danger that day. All proceeds benefit local first responders and military charities. General donations are also accepted. Register today at 911towerchallengefoundation.org.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Final phase of the program, 520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on the program. Let's let you hear something that happened a little bit earlier today as your head football coach was on with Jim Rome.
And now, the best thing you will hear all day.
Hachi-machi!
It's time for the Wildcat Radio Replay. In case you missed this earlier in the day, we now bring you the best of 1290. It's made possible by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
We are joined right now by the head football coach at Arizona. He's entering his first season as Wildcats head coach. He previously served as the head coach at San Jose State for 7 years. He led the Spartans to 3 bowl games in the last 4 years. He was the 2020 Mountain West Conference Coach of the Year. He won 2 Mountain West regular season titles in 2020 and 2023. Right now, the Wildcats are ranked 21st in the preseason coaches poll. We are joined right now by head coach Brent Brennan. Brent, great to have you on, man. Thanks so much for doing it. How are you?
I'm doing great, Jim. It's great to be here. Thank you.
It's great to have you. So what's it feel like to come full circle? Because in a way you have, right? You're back in Tucson. What's it feel like to come full circle? And how does the squad look to you 3 weeks away from your opener?
It's been an incredible process coming back here to the U of A. You know, being here 24 years ago with the legendary Dick Tomey and all the great people during that time, and then being able to bring some of those people back with me on our staff that either played here or are coach here in the past. It's just it's been an awesome process. I'm having a blast. This team's special, man. We got great leadership. I give Coach Fisch and that staff credit. They recruited great players and great young men, and we're having a lot of fun just building this team. And you know, we're 5 days in, right? So we're still getting scheme in and figuring out how to play football, but I'm excited about this football team.
Brent Brennan joining us. I was going to ask you about a couple of things that you brought up, so I'll double back in a minute. But I want to ask you this, Brent. I spoke with the Athletics National College football writer Bruce Feldman about that column he wrote on the domino effect of Nick Saban's decision to retire at Alabama. By his math, you are one of the 423 people across the country who are impacted by Nick stepping down, because it led to Kalen DeBoer leaving Washington for Bama. And, of course, you mentioned Jedd Fisch, who ends up going to Seattle. Has it fully sunk in, and how surreal is that wild chain reaction that it affected 423 people? I mean, what a crazy notion that is.
No doubt. And it was actually incredible because of the timing, right? Like, that happened like the second week of January, which is about a month later than the cycle normally happens. So when those dominoes started to fall, you know, like, we didn't know what was going to happen, but from the first time I was contacted by the U of A, you know, I was here and probably like on a plane meeting with the team less than 48 hours, you know, after first contact. So when that domino fell, it all happened so fast, but shoot, I'm glad it did.
So Brent, what about that? What did you like about this opportunity? Why was that a no-brainer for you?
I think I'd always wanted to come back to the University of Arizona. You know, I interviewed for this job when Coach Fisch got it in 20 after our Mountain West championship year. And I was just, when that didn't happen, I was just like, well, shoot, Jedd's a good coach. He's going to be there a long time. I guess Arizona, that's just the one that I'll never get a chance to go back there. But my wife graduated from here. Both my brothers went to school here. I have just really cool history and cool memories here. And so I was always hoping to have a chance to come back. And then when it happened, it was like this kind of magical string of events just gave me an opportunity to be in this incredible place.
It's surreal, right? That's a wild story, actually, and the way that plays out. But the world's funny like that. Brent Brennan's joining us. I'm glad you mentioned Jedd Fisch. Personally, I think the guy's a hell of a coach. I think the guy's such a great coach, and you'd probably agree with me on that. So Arizona was already headed in the right direction. They win 10 games last year. They beat Oklahoma in the Alamo Bowl. I know the transfer portal has diminished the carryover effect from year to year, but how good do you feel about the culture that you're inheriting?
I feel really fortunate that way. I think players are always the ones that have to drive the culture, and fortunately for us, the players that were here that Jedd and our previous staff recruited, along with some of the pieces that we've added since we've been here, they've been kind of building that every day. They already had an incredibly strong foundation. They're already really, really well connected, and that's a space of the world that of the football world that I really lean into. That's been the strong suit of mine and our football programs over the years, is kind of that connection, that brotherhood, and that was something that we were able to kind of just pour gas on that fire and really continue to galvanize this group as we get ready to play.
So, Brent, if that's the thing that's really important to you, that brotherhood, how do you develop that brotherhood? How do you grow that brotherhood? How do you make sure that you have that brotherhood?
Well, I think it starts with the evaluation and the recruiting process. What kind of young man are you bringing into your football family? And then when they get here, you got to find ways to connect them on a deeper level. It's really interesting. Over my career, I've spent a bunch of time talking to kind of some legendary coaches, of the past. It's been a 4-year project, and everybody from Joc Pederson to Phil Jackson and everybody in between. But it's been a magical thing where everybody talks about the value of those great teams with some kind of chemistry. It wasn't really the X's and O's. We all need talent, like that goes without saying. But they talked about the chemistry and how you built that connection, and I think everybody has to do it their own way. And, the way we do it is what I learned from Coach Tomey and what I was brought up in, and just finding ways to get them talking about things other than football, connecting off the field, not always being locked into the building and, X's and O's, and how much more scheme can we teach and can we learn? A lot of it is how much more can we learn about each other and how can we build that brotherhood and deepen that connection.
I like it. Brent Brennan joining us, Arizona head football coach. I'm glad you mentioned Dick Tomey. I was going to ask you about him anyway. He was such a legend of the game, and you worked for him first as a grad assistant, and then you also were an assistant in San Jose State. Of course, when you think about Dick, one of the first things that comes to mind is that legendary Desert Swarm defense of the 90s. How would you describe the impact he's had on you both as a coach and a person?
Well, I think it's rare. I talked about it at my press conference. Actually, I kind of broke up during my press conference when I first got hired, talking about Dick Tomey and how special him and his wife Nancy were to me and my family. But he was the guy that, even when I was a head coach, he's the guy that I would call every Sunday after a game and rehash. Sometimes I get cussed out by him for some of the stuff we did, but it was really just a special relationship that grew over time. And I think he's one of those people that every person that he came in contact with, he really had a positive impact on. And that's what he was for me. Just that mentor, kind of that father figure, in my professional father figure, right? He's someone that I think about every day on this job. And I have ever since I've been a coach. How would Coach Tomey handle this? What would he think about this? What would he think about the decision you made on game day? Or sometimes it's like, oh, shoot, Coach Tomey would not have liked that. He would be on your ass for that one.
It's great to have somebody like that. Great to have somebody like that, and you always did. We're talking to Brent Brennan, Arizona head football coach. We talked about the culture that you inherit, but very clearly you're going to put your own imprint on the program. And one of the ways you've done this, you've got the word red line. It's emblazoned in big, bold red letters on the fence surrounding your practice field. What's the significance of the word in that context?
Well, I think it's just a big part of our culture, right? It really speaks to how we want to play. You think of kind of the analogy of redlining a car. And so just giving our players really something simple. I think it's when you're talking about, culture or, catchphrases or whatever it is, the words that are going to kind of surround your football team. I think it needs to be very clear, and I think it needs to be easy for the players to understand and easy for the players to say. And so when we say red line, they know exactly what it means, what is kind of comes with that in terms of our effort, our execution, and our accountability. And we've kind of put it and defined it in words or terms that are easy for the players to digest, right? So, that in terms of our effort, that's 100 miles an hour, 100% of the time. The execution is prove it. Every player says they want to be first team. I'm just like, great, prove it. You want to play, prove it. We have practice today. Let's see what you got. And then that accountability piece is that I think that's one of the hardest pieces for young people to really dive into, and even actually adults for that matter. But just, you're accountable. And if you screw something up, you just got to own it and fix it, and let's move forward.
I like it. Extreme ownership. Extreme ownership. So we're talking to Brent Brennan. Let me ask you this. You got a quarterback in Noah Fifita who could hit the transfer portal with the coaching change, but he did decide to return for this season. You knew you were getting a pretty dynamic player, but now that you've spent a little bit of time with him, is there anything about him maybe that you didn't know when you came in that you now know?
I had no idea just what an amazing human being he is. I'll tell you a quick story, Jim.
Please.
When he told me that him and T-Mac were going to stay, they wanted to do it during the timeout or during a basketball game. We were playing UCLA, right, my alma mater, UCLA, Arizona, huge basketball game. So at the first timeout, we're supposed to take the court, and this big announcement's going to happen. So I'm standing in the back, and Noah Fifita comes and grabs me, and he said, "Come on, you need to be in the front." And I'm like, no, this is about you guys. This is about you and the defensive players all committing to stay together and making this big thing at the game. It's going to be this awesome moment. He's like, no. This is about us telling them that we're doing it with you. Like, that's who he is. It was an incredible moment of just like leadership and understanding of the importance of kind of alignment between players and coaches and, community. And like, that kid is special in every way. The football's the football, but like who he is as a young man, just incredible parents. Just that guy is awesome, and I cannot wait to watch him play this fall.
Hey, man, there's no doubt. As a head coach, that's exactly what you want. I mean, if you had 10 guys like that, it would be an amazing thing, but the fact that you have one is really important. You mentioned basketball. It's a big Tommy Lloyd house, too, Brent. I'm really fond of him. Well, I want to say this, too. I don't want to disrespect my guy, Bobby Hurley. I also am very aware of how fierce the competition is between Arizona State and Arizona. But I do love Tommy Lloyd. I've always appreciated what he brings to his craft. When he shows up on this show, it's always with great energy. He's just got a great way about him, and the results speak for themselves. Did you seek him out pretty quickly when you got there? And have you had a chance to compare notes with him?
Absolutely. I spent a lot of time with Coach Lloyd and his amazing wife, Chanel. Just an incredible person and family. I watch him practice. I traveled with the team to a game. I just love watching great teachers teach, and he is absolutely one of those. I've actually sat in his meetings. He's been incredibly generous that way. What a great coach and great teacher, and he's really become a good friend. And I think it's important at any big school that you have great alignment between your head football coach and your head basketball coach. And I think Tommy and I have that. We have a great relationship. Every now and then when we do get a chance, we'll kick our feet up and go out to dinner and have a beer and catch up. But he's just a great dude, and I really appreciate kind of his help and his kind of guidance as I'm navigating this place for the first time as a head coach.
Brent Brennan joining us. To that point, one last thought. Like, Arizona officially becomes a member of the Big 12 on Friday. Tucson, to me, Brent, is really interesting because it's got the advantages of being a big city, but you maintain the closeness of being a college town. I'm curious, as you take this on, what kind of feedback do you get from boosters, alumni, and folks around town about joining this 16-team mega conference when you do go into the Big 12?
Jim, I think you're right on. I think that's one of the things that makes us totally unique is the fact that we are in a city of nearly 1 million people, but we're the only show in town, right? Like the University of Arizona, kind of the connection between the city and the U of A makes us totally unique as we step into this new conference. And people are fired up. They are fired up to see these new teams come into the Arizona Stadium. They're fired up to see us go on the road and see what those things look like. And then that's something that I've been talking to my team a bunch about, right? Like we are going into a section of the country where football is super important. And those stadiums are going to be rocking. And we need to get ready for what that's going to look like and what that's going to feel like. And then when those opponents come to Tucson, Arizona, they need to feel that from the city of Tucson, right? This place needs to rock. And Arizona Stadium and the Zona Zoo will be ready to go. And I can't wait to see what they put on for our opponents when they come here.
Love it. Can't wait to see it myself. And they are ranked number 21 in the preseason poll. The head coach of the Wildcats is Brent Brennan. Brent, really appreciate it. Great conversation. Great to meet you and get caught up with you. Thanks so much. We'll do it again soon.
I look forward to it, Jim. And Jim, let's get you down for a game this season. Come on, I'll take care of you.
Okay, I'll take you up on that, Coach. I like that. That's a good invite. Appreciate that. All right, Brent Brennan.
That was the Wildcat Radio Replay with the best of the best from 1290. It's brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
Great stuff there, Brent Brennan, Jim Rome. You can hear that on our website. Head on over there if you missed any of it. It's up there, wildcatsradio1290.com. That is going to wrap up our show for today. Thanks to Megan Shelf from Arizona Soccer for joining us. Brian Peterson, AZ Desert Swarm. His name is J.W. Madden. Her name is Cricket. My name is David Kelly. That is our time for tonight. Thank you very much for your time. We'll talk to you tomorrow. DK on the Sports Tip right here at 3 o'clock. Have a great night, everybody.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Collisions that are reported at Oracle and Wetmore, Wilma and Broadway Boulevard. Dove Mountain north of Moore Road. Bad collision occurred on St. Mary's west of Grande. Please find an alternate route westbound Ajo Mission to I-19 for backups and travel down to one lane. Severe thunderstorm warning for north central Pima County until 6:15, and it's 92 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Don't miss up to 70% off select major appliances at the Lowe's Closeout event. But hurry, these deals are too good to last because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 8/7 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Westwood One Sports presents this special update on the 2024 Summer Games.